reaping all the benefits.
Okay. Ready to lock it in, folks? Did I miss out on CS? Look at this huge wave here. And he's level 2.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channels. We are here for the coffee stream, and it is Thursday, so I have titled it terrifying Thursday. Because I've got some terrifying things for us to look at. I've got another visual venture video because I really like that guy's channel and I want to showcase it because he gets access to some stuff that I have never ever heard of before, and he does a really good job of disseminating the information. So I've put the link to the video. I put the link to every video that we'll be watching today in the description of the channel with the video title above it. So you guys can go check those out and click the subscribe button on the channel that we are looking at. Hello, Blake Star. Heidi ho. Heidi ho. Hope you're doing well on this Thursday morning. I've got myself a nice coffee. I hope that we all have our coffees ready for this very interesting live stream. I've got, like I said, I've got a visual venture channel. I've got a bunch of different stuff for us to watch, and it's all pretty messed up. So, like I said, terrifying Thursday, I think, is a Pinkalo came up with that yesterday, and I think it fits. I think it really fits. So that's what's been going on. It's really goddamn cold for the 30th of May. We have a frost advisory coming up for our area, which is never fun for May 30th. It's not unheard of in Canada, but it still sucks. Terrifying is terrific. You still haven't stopped. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. So I've got everything pulled up. I've got everything shared and I've got everything linked. And I'm all ready to go. So I hope everybody's seated and happily ensconced and wherever they are and ready to be terrified. Because our first video is from, like I said, is from Visual Venture. And it's called YouTube's Most Disturbing Family Channels. And I have a feeling that he's going to come up with some family channels that we have heard of, but some that we haven't. Because in the last video that we watched from him, he had a couple of ones that I had never even heard of. There was a couple that I knew about, but there were some that I had never even heard of, and they were pretty dark. So let's see what he has found, because this Visual Venture guy is pretty damn good. I like the quality of his content. So let's take a quick look here, and we shall start with our first video. YouTube's Most Disturbing Family Channels.
A woman who rose to fame on YouTube with her videos on parenting, childcare, and marriage is charged with 6 counts of felony child.
There's Ruby
My
Frank.
mom and Daddy fighting.
Is everybody in agreement with me here how creepy this is? But there is something more sinister with these people.
Most of us probably have had childhood memories of our parents shoving a camera in our faces to capture big moments in our lives. Private moments only meant to be shared with loved ones. Now imagine those memories being plastered all over the internet for the world to see.
Yeah, see, this is why, like, there are a few pictures of my kids, like, on my personal Facebook where my long-distance family are, but I do not, like, plaster them on my Blind Press account. I don't I don't, the latest cold spell I've experienced was an April snowfall when I lived in Germany. Ah, that would do it. That would do it, Blake Star. What was I saying? I don't plaster my kids on my blind press pages because I'm trying to grow those, and I don't want thousands of people to have access to them. And I don't feel like, you know, if my kids are having trouble with something, like my oldest and his bike riding, like, I'm not gonna stick a camera in his face while he's struggling.
For the children on some family YouTube channels, this is a very grim reality, and these kids are imprisoned by this lifestyle. So we're gonna start with the lighter stuff and dive deeper into the darker topics later on in the video. Welcome, my friends, to the creepiest family channels on YouTube, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. The Ingham family. The Ingham family started off as what seemed like your typical YouTube family vloggers. The parents, Sarah and Chris, would post videos about family outings and holidays featuring their 3 children, Isabel, Esme, and Isla. But as their channel gained more subscribers, the Inghams' videos got more and more personal, and their YouTube content took a bizarre turn when they welcomed their newborn son, Jace, to the family. In March of 2019, they posted a video titled Emotional Live Birth, Labor.
No, you can't. Why does that get allowed to be posted on YouTube? Why is that okay? Yet, I can't post a picture to Instagram of me going like this over my bare boobs without it being taken down. What the fuck?
Labor and delivery. The video documents Sarah.
I was posting that picture to Instagram, and I accidentally posted the full, like, one that was meant for the paid page. But then I went and tried to post the one with my hands over it, and they still were like, no.
7-hour delivery. It features everything from her painful contractions to the physical birth of their newborn son, Jace.
8 minutes past 7. On the 27th of March, 2019.
The video currently has 1 million views, meaning that almost 1 million strangers have seen the most intimate time in any person's life.
That is not something that I would want posted on anywhere. I'm sorry. Like, no matter how the blind press brand gets, like, that is just not something I would want posted. That's very private. That's just a part of my family's life. Like, that doesn't need to be there.
Being born. And this is when things started to get creepy. At only 10 days old, the parents created an Instagram account for Jace. While most parents of newborns are focused on nap time and feeding, it seemed like Sarah and Chris are more concerned about Jace racking up followers on social media.
Why does the 10-day-old infant need a goddamn Instagram account? That's just not okay with me at all. Why does the infant need a social media presence?
From there, the Inghams used social media, mainly YouTube, to make money off of their newborn son. They did it in a creepy way. 4 months after Jace was born, the Ingham family posted a video on their channel titled, "We have a very special secret to tell. Huge announcement." In the video, the mom, Sarah, announced that they were now selling lifelike replica dolls of their newborn son, Jace.
Wait, they've made replicas of their son and they're selling them? So they've literally monetized their son as a doll and they're selling it to either his fans, which is creepy enough that there are anybody that are fans of an infant, and their fans, which is also creepy that anybody would be fans of a family in the first place and want a replica of one of their children. That's just weird.
This was made to represent Jace when he was 2 weeks old, similar to the age in the photo that you will receive on the birth certificate if you buy one of these.
The doll is so identical to Jace that it's hard to tell that it's even a doll. Here's a side-by-side image of the real baby Jace and the reborn baby Jace replica. The Ingham family began selling reborn baby Jace dolls on maryshortle.com.
That is so creepy. And how much were they selling these things for? Because reborn dolls are not cheap. they sell for a lot of money. Like, there's a reason that they're expensive, because they're usually used for grieving mothers who have had a stillborn child or like a sudden infant death loss. Then they get a doll that's replica of their child to kind of like help them with the grieving process and help them like let go of the baby. It's kind of disturbing to create a reborn doll of a living child and then monetize that. That's very weird.
These limited edition J-Stalls were sold for hundreds of dollars a piece. One viewer commented on the J-Stall video saying, "Imagine the horror when you're old enough and realize your parents replicated you in a doll form."
Right? I would be like, ugh. That would just creep me the fuck out. I would never want a freaking me doll. I'm a wild guess. The birthing video was probably accepted because it was probably considered educational. Yeah, I know. I accidentally posted the wrong photo, but then I tried to post the other photo, and maybe I posted the wrong one again.
Highly creepy and inappropriate to sell your own child. The Inghams used their YouTube channel to promote the J-Stall. One of their videos included a caption.
Also, how would the other kids feel? Like, part of me would feel glad that I wasn't monetized, but also the other part of me would be like, what about me? Like, do I not matter? Why are we only focusing on the newest child? Like, why does everybody only want the doll of the new baby? Like, am I just chopped liver?
Saying, "Get your very own baby reborn J-Stall here," followed by a link to the Mary Shortle online store. Jace's parents acted like selling dolls of their son to strangers was a completely normal thing to do. In a BuzzFeed interview, the father Chris described the baby J-Stalls as a great opportunity for their fans. But who really benefited from this great opportunity? The Inghams ended up producing 250 newborn baby J-Stalls, which means the parents could have possibly gained anywhere from $73,000 to $92,000 selling replicas of their son.
That is... that is not something that I would have ever thought to do when my kids were infants. Like, I never would have thought, hey, like, even if I were on social media back when they were young, right? Like, like I was with the second one, but if I had a presence, like, there's nothing in my mind that would have been like, hey, you know what? Let's create a replica doll of our kid and sell it for hundreds of dollars. That'll be great. Let's do that. Like, that never would have occurred to me.
After receiving major backlash, Chris and Sarah Ingham posted a video titled, "This Needs to Be Said." In the video, Chris and Sarah addressed the negative comments they'd receive about the baby reborn J-Stalls. Instead of admitting that profiting from selling dolls of their son could be questionable, the parents portrayed themselves as the main victims in this situation.
How? How are you at all the victims?
Some of you may already know this, but we have been the victims of some of the most severe, disgusting hate online.
But the Ingham family is just the tip of the creepy.
You're so victim. You're such victims. You've monetized your actual baby son and probably made your other children feel like they don't matter.
Family channel's iceberg. Taking clickbait too far.
Uh-oh.
Some people think running a YouTube channel is easy, making videos one day and taking it easy for the rest of the week.
Nope. You gotta, like, there have been times, and the way that I record my videos is not even close to some of the hardest. Like, I've heard of people who have edited stuff like 5, 6, 7 times. They've had to read the same script 5, 6, 7 times. They've, like, and I can't even edit my own videos because of, like, the visual aspects of it. So, like, I don't even know half the shit that I do that needs to be reversed or cut out. It's crazy. Like, Pink Hollow has to call me in and go, okay, you see how much I've cut out of this? You know, it's ridiculous.
Let me tell you, it most definitely is not. I always have to find ways to cut down time and stay efficient. Enter today's sponsor, Opera. But Opera isn't just a browser. It's a whole toolkit to help in content creation. So I usually have a lot of tabs open, which can get messy. But with Opera's tab islands, I can easily group similar websites together. So I could put Social Blade and View Stats together while my scripts are in another. My favorite Opera feature is the sidebar, because with one click, I can use Aria for quick information, browse X, or check your guys' messages on Instagram. And then there's Aria, Opera's free generative AI service. When I'm doing research for these videos, there's a ton of words that I don't understand, but I could literally highlight a word, click explain briefly, and Aria explains it briefly. So
okay, that's cool. That is pretty cool. I will say that. Do you see what I mean about how AI can actually do some actual very helpful
if
stuff?
I'm looking at an article on creating great thumbnails and I don't know what click-through rate means, then I just highlight it, click explain briefly, and there it is. It's the ratio of clicks on a link to the number of times it's shown, and in this case, a thumbnail. Thank you, Aria. And that's not all. Opera has a built-in ad blocker and a VPN for smoother and safer browsing. And best of all these features are free. Make sure you guys click that first link in the description and download the Opera desktop today for free. Meet the Prince family. The Prince family includes the mother Bianca, father Damien, and their 4 kids, DJ,
Damien,
Kyrie,
huh?
Nova, and Ayla. Between their 2
Damien, put the camera down, Damien.
YouTube channels, the official Prince family and the Prince family Clubhouse, they have over 13 million subscribers, and their videos have reached a total of almost 1.2 billion views. Unlike typical...
Those numbers are just depressing to me. There's just so depressing.
YouTube family channels, the Prince family didn't become famous by only posting vlogs of family vacations or holidays. The parents, Bianca and Damien, gained their millions of followers by also posting skits that are supposed to teach parenting lessons. Sounds harmless, right? But when you look beneath the surface, it seems the videos aren't really about teaching good parenting. They're more about getting a lot of views by putting their sons, DJ and Kyrie, in compromising situations.
Oh, good. So, I hate these, I've seen some of these channels on TikTok where they do skits on how to handle, like, your ADHD kid or whatever, and it's like, why are you doing this to your child?
On January of 2022, the Prince family posted a video titled "Parents Break Up in Front of Boys They Instantly Regret It" on their channel. The video begins with the father, Damien, refusing to play with his 2 sons, DJ, who is 8, and Kyrie, who is 6, which then escalates into their parents getting into a fight while their sons listen in.
That hits me hard. That hits me hard because I've been in the middle of parental fights. Like I try really hard not to make our kids be in the middle. Like I don't like that. This is probably going to upset me.
What you don't have is time to spend with your kids.
Why are you so mad?
Why am I always on your phone?
From there, things continue to get worse. At one point, Bianca sits DJ and Kyrie down and tells them that their father doesn't want to spend time with them. Even though this is all an act, the disappointment on the boys' faces appears very real.
Why would you say that? Even if it's an act, that's not something you pretend with your children. What the fuck? That is not okay. Kids don't understand the nuances of deep play acting like that.
After featuring increasingly intense fights that take place in front of Kyrie and DJ, Bianca packs a suitcase and threatens to leave.
What is you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Going somewhere?
I'm packing up and leaving, and I'm taking the kids with me.
All of this eventually leads up to Bianca and Damien attempting to make up in a sweet and happy moment, but the fighting seemed to take a toll on their kids. In a weird twist, the video ends with a quote on screen that reads, "Be a good example for your kids. They look up to you more than you realize."
That's what you wanted to teach with that? by using your kids to watch you pretend to leave each other, you think that you can preach about being a good example to your kids? Really? Holy shit.
Although the message for parents is good, the way the Prince family presents it is bizarre. No child wants to witness their parents breaking up in front of their eyes, even if the breakup is part of an act. The video currently has over 1.3 million views, so I guess the Prince family's goal to get as many views as possible was a success. But they've been getting a lot of backlash, and on top of this, they take things further. If you scroll through the Prince family's channel, you'll see an endless amount of creepy clickbait. The Prince family is notorious for using titles and thumbnails as clickbait in their videos, and they've been accused multiple times of taking this tactic too far. YouTuber Ethan Klein took a deep dive into the Prince family's creepy clickbait on his podcast H3. This is
H3 even got into this. Holy fuck. How have I never heard of these people? Like, I've heard of 8 Passengers and shit, but I've never heard of the Inghams. I've never heard of the Prince family.
That's how he describes it.
Most horrific clickbait on their kids that I've ever seen.
One of their creepiest thumbnails is for a video titled, "What Happened to Nova's Face? She Freaked Out." Nova is Damien and Bianca's daughter, and she was just shy of 2 years old when the video was posted. The video's thumbnail shows 2-year-old Nova with tears in her eyes and an open sore on her face, not to mention the added clickbait using worms.
He took worms out of her face. That's the clickbait. You can't do that, you guys. Help me, Daddy, it says. You should be so deeply ashamed of what you're doing.
What makes the situation...
That's fucked up. That is fucked up. Like, why would you use your toddler like that? Holy fuck. That is... I'm flabbergasted with this. I can't even come to imagine, like, I'm gonna keep saying this. Like, I would never be able to use my kids like this. This is
situation
fucked up.
Even weirder is that the video had actually pretty much nothing to do with the thumbnail and title. The video is actually about Damien and Bianca celebrating hitting 8 million subscribers on YouTube and donating clothes to Goodwill. There were no worms involved, and the massive wound on Nova's face is actually just a scratch that was featured for less than a minute.
Wow. Wow. That is... Wow. So you amplified a scratch on your kid's face, made it seem like it was festering worms, and then you got... and then it was about you reaching 8 million subs? Jesus Christ.
No, but why you scratch your face up for it?
Okay.
It doesn't hurt?
Yeah.
Are you excited about hitting 8 million family members?
After receiving backlash, the Prince family eventually replaced the thumbnail featuring Nova.
Are you excited
but
about
the Prince
hitting
family...
8 million family members? I don't think she even knows or cares,
After receiving backlash, the Prince family eventually replaced the thumbnail featuring Nova. But the Prince family seems to still be pushing boundaries. This next family YouTube channel takes pranking their own children to disturbing levels, and the pranks have led to real-life consequences.
Watch. It's gonna be Daddy of 5.
The downfall of Daddy-O5.
Yep.
Welcome to the channel Daddy-O5. This family YouTube channel features the Martin family, which is made up of the father, Mark, mother, Heather, and their children, Jake, Ryan, Emma, Cody, and Alex. One thing to remember is that Heather is Cody and Emma's stepmom. The Daddy-O5 channel revolved around Mark and Heather pranking their kids. The pranks started innocently, involving things like Mark jumping out and scaring his kids. As the channel slowly started to gain subscribers, Mark realized that the videos where the kids had extreme reactions to his pranks gained more views.
Gee, if I make my children genuinely upset or scared, I get more attention. Wow, like, this, I never understood this shit. This is why I refuse to do, like, a family YouTube shit. We could do a family YouTube shit. Our kids are hams, right? Our kids are fucking hams. They love the camera. They would ham it up. It would work, right? But I can't do it. I can't expose my kids to the creepy people that watch family channels. I just can't. And like the amount of people that would look at the dynamic between Pink Hollow and I and just be like, oh my god, it's so abusive. Ah! It would just be ridiculous.
This is where things took a creepy turn. Some of their kids had more extreme reactions than others, but one kid in particular would often have meltdowns in reaction to pranks. Their 10-year-old son, Cody. Cody had been diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, or commonly phrased as ODD. According to the Mayo Clinic, oppositional defiance disorder includes a frequent and ongoing pattern of anger, irritability, arguing, and defiance toward parents and other authority figures.
And I often wonder if ODD is a new phenomenon, if it's always been around and just become named. Like, that's just something I've always
In the eyes of his parents, this made Cody the perfect pranking target. So many of Daddy05's videos involved putting Cody under extreme distress. In one of his most questionable pranks on Cody, Mark convinced Cody that they were sending him away to live with another family. Mark tells his son that their reason for sending him away is because he's really annoying.
What? This one I missed. Holy shit, I know about the carpet prank where it was like the coloring on the carpet or whatever, or something got spilled on the carpet. I knew about that prank, but I didn't know about this one.
Do you not like me as a kid?
I do like you as a kid, but you're really annoying.
At first, Cody tries to call their bluff and insists that there's no way his family would abandon him. Cody's attitude changes though when his father begins to pack up Cody's things in a suitcase. Mark then tells Cody's brother Alex that they're putting his brother up for adoption.
Okay, this I totally missed. Jesus. This is what I mean. Like, he finds shit that I've never seen.
Alex, we're giving Cody up for adoption. Yes. And this is gonna be your room.
From there, Mark makes a fake phone call to an unknown person telling them to pick Cody up.
A room over that actually cared about their children would not do this.
Mark eventually admits that this was all a prank and they're not putting Cody up for adoption, but at that point the damage had already been done. What's even creepier is that Mark calls this video a success.
Jesus Christ. How could you joke like that?
The prank that I did on Cody that failed miserably. I mean, well, it didn't fail because it worked out. He got mad, pissed off, all that, and there was a reaction.
Now this next prank is where the consequences begin. In 2017, Daddy05 uploaded a video titled Invisible Ink Prank, Epic Freakout, and it would end up being the nail in Daddy05's coffin. The plan was just for Cody's stepmom, Heather, to squirt invisible ink on his carpet.
There we go. That's the prank I know about. The ink on the carpet. I couldn't remember if it was like a marker or something. No, it was invisible.
And blame him for the stain.
I bought this here, invisible ink, and I'm gonna squirt it all over his carpet and start flipping out.
Mark and Heather proceeded to call Cody into the room and scream at him for staining the carpet. As his father and stepmom yell at him, Cody becomes overwhelmed with emotion. His face turns bright red and he begins crying while repeatedly saying, "I didn't do that."
Because this is the thing with people with ODD. When they literally didn't do something and you're like accusing them of it, it makes things so much worse. Because they are actually doing something right and you're accusing them of it. That wasn't the Disneyland trip. That was the, honey, that wasn't the Disneyland. That was, we're giving Cody away. And we're giving him up for adoption, and this is going to be your room. I didn't know about that one.
As the tensions rise, Cody's brother Alex steps in to try to defend his brother, but backfires on Alex and they accuse him of staining the carpet. From that point, Cody and Alex are crying while their parents continue yelling at them. Mark finally reveals that this was all a prank and no one is actually in trouble.
Lovely. I love how the brother, who is usually part of the pranking against him, even steps in and is like, no, that wasn't him. And then the parents are mad because the brother, like, almost ruins the prank. So they start screaming at him.
It's invisible, Hank. It goes away.
Mark was laughing while his sons were visibly shaken up. And the video even ends like this.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Dat85.
The invisible ink prank video instantly received major...
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
He is literally crying still. And the other guy's like, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like, they're so uncomfortable.
The invisible ink prank video instantly received major backlash from the YouTube community. And the video was removed from the Daddy05 channel.
I saw all of those. I think you simply tuned them out.
Shortly after being posted, but that didn't stop
I
people.
knew about all of the, like, the other pranks. I just missed. I think you're right. Some of them I might have tried to forget.
The video was removed from the Daddy05 channel shortly after being posted, but that didn't stop people from continuing to raise issues with the Daddy05 channel.
Horrible and traumatic. This then resulted in myself and others going through a bunch of their other videos to find if there were other instances of this. We didn't have to look hard. There were multiple examples.
Daddy05 was now on a lot of people's radars, including the police. The Maryland police launched an investigation into Heather and Mike Martin. They didn't have to go digging for evidence. Everything they needed was plastered all over the Daddy05 YouTube channel.
Yeah,
in July 2017, Heather...
it was like they were like, here everybody, here's our documented child abuse. Would you like to take a look?
And Mike were charged by a Maryland court for the ink prank video and other similar pranks on their Daddy05 channel. But things got even worse from there.
That new fallout for the YouTube family, whose extreme prank video sparked a major backlash, and TJ Holmes has new details for us.
Mike and Heather ended up losing custody of Cody and their daughter Emma. Police removed the kids from the house and placed them in the custody of their biological mother, Rose Hall.
And she wasn't much of a picnic either, from what I remember. She was severely mentally ill and she had her own issues.
Rose was reunited with Cody and Emma. It was clear that Cody had been brainwashed by his stepmother Heather and his father Mike.
He said some things that were disturbing, that he hated me, that Mike and Heather told him I threw him away like he was garbage.
Cody and...
Ooh. I forgot about that they were told that she threw them away like garbage. I forgot about that.
Emma eventually readjusted to their new home and now seem to be living happily. The same cannot be said, though, for Mike and Heather. The two pleaded guilty for their charges and were sentenced to 10 years probation.
I think I of course I had to pick up a goddamn Home Depot, and it's the goddamn Pro event. Ugh. Hey, Leo! Yeah, I heard about Daddy05 when I was like 15. Hearing about this is just crazy. You watched their channel for months. Oh, really?
Probation. In light of all the controversy surrounding the channel, YouTube took down the Daddy05 channel. But that didn't stop Heather and Mike from continuing to post videos on the internet. The two created a website called family05.com. They uploaded videos to the website and charged people membership fees in order to view their content.
They've made their own paywalled fucking website, which was amazing to me. It's like, hey, we've really fucked up our kids and got ran off the internet, or got ran off YouTube. So instead of like taking a break and fixing our shit, we're just gonna make a paywalled website.
To continue making money off videos featuring their kids was brought to an end, though, because they were forced to take down the website due to violating the terms of their probation. But Daddy05 isn't the only family channel whose creepy videos led to terrible consequences.
8 Passengers?
The infamous 8 Passengers.
There we go.
You might have already heard of 8 Passengers and their controversies. 8 Passengers is a family YouTube channel that was created in 2015 by Ruby Frank. Ruby posted vlogs featuring her husband Kevin and their 6 kids, Sherry, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve. On the surface, 8 Passengers seemed pretty innocent.
And This is why Mormons are creepy people.
Ruby mainly posted vlogs discussing parenting and marriage.
The only downside to giving your kids a flip phone is I swear I have to remember how to work it every time I go through it.
At first, Ruby seemed pretty relatable. She posted honest videos about the struggles that come with being a wife and a mom to 6 kids. The 8 Passengers channel even had a following of roughly 2 million subscribers. But when you look below the surface of this relatable mommy vlogger, you'll find some of the creepiest family dynamics on YouTube.
Yeah, creepy is an understatement. Downright just horrible and evil is more like it.
8 Passengers rose to YouTube fame. Viewers began pointing out some of Ruby's questionable parenting methods. And the more you look at the 8 Passengers videos, it becomes clear that Ruby wasn't just a mother. She was a dictator. Ruby ruled her household with an iron fist, and she went to bizarre methods to discipline her children. One of 8 Passengers' most controversial videos involves Ruby's oldest son, Chad, explaining his most recent punishment.
The no bed.
For 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the no bed, where he was forced to sleep on a beanbag chair for 7 months.
I don't think our viewers know that.
While Ruby creepily laughs, Chad goes on to reveal that he's been sleeping on a beanbag for months. But he must have done something pretty horrible to warrant losing his bedroom for 7 months, right? Well, this was the reason.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack.
It was a small...
It was a tiny little prank on brother prank. Wake up, we gotta go to Disneyland, gotta pack. And for that, he lost his entire bedroom for 7 months. Like, what the fuck? Not all of us are like this family. They are the minority. It's known in our church as priesthood abuse. And if your priesthood is removed if you're a man convicted of family-related crimes. Oh, interesting. What if you're a woman though, and you commit family-related crimes like Ruby did, and Jody Hildebrand, because she was actually recommended. Jody Hildebrand was actually on a list of counselors recommended by bishops to the LDS church members, and she was just completely like wrecking marriages.
The small prank where Chad made Russell think that they were going to Disneyland. I'm sure anyone who has siblings is guilty of pulling some pranks on them, but in the Frank household, they were not tolerated. Another of Ruby's most notorious videos features her ranting to the camera about her 6-year-old daughter Eve forgetting to bring her lunch to school. Eve's teacher then texted Frank asking her to drop off Eve's lunch. Ruby's response?
I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch.
But Ruby had zero plans on easing anyone's discomfort. Instead, she decided to let her daughter go hungry in order to teach her a lesson. Again, Eve was only 6 years old when this took place.
6 years old. Do you know what happened the day that my kids forgot both of them? I made their lunches and I told them, put your lunch bags in your backpacks. Right? They both forgot them on the table. They had their backpacks, but they both forgot their lunch bags on the table. You know what I did? I walked the fucking kilometer down to the school and gave them their lunches because they need to eat at school so that they can learn. It's like, that's just what you do when you're a mom. You do stuff that's inconvenient because you had children. You often do things that you don't want to do because you have to do them for your kids.
The video received major backlash, and viewers began commenting on the questionable lengths Ruby was going in order to teach her children a lesson. Ruby responded to their concerns with this video.
Would like to cancel me, who would like to see me either burn in hell, as I have told, or disappear off the face of the earth. and I'm not going anywhere.
But little did Ruby know she was going somewhere terrible. I need to introduce you to Jodi Hildebrandt. Jodi Hildebrandt describes herself as a life coach and licensed therapist who has 5 years of experience with treating addiction. In 2012,
yeah, she's obsessed with addiction, by the way, Jodi Hildebrandt. She is literally obsessed with addiction. She sees addiction everywhere and accuses everyone of being addicted to something. I watched a video by a channel called Jay Aubrey, and he does really deep dives into things, and he did a deep dive into Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, and he actually had gotten hold of an interview of Jodi's niece, whose parents basically abandoned her with Jodi to make her stop being gay, because gay and Mormon apparently bad. And she was also dealing with depression at the time. And Jodi was like convinced that she was addicted to sex, addicted to porn, addicted to masturbation, even though at this point this girl didn't know that females could even masturbate. This chick is insane.
12, Jodi started a company called Connections Classroom, an online-based education program that helps people overcome issues including addiction, relationship problems, and mental health struggles.
If you're like me, you've had pain in your life. It could be from a divorce, work conflicts, relationship issues with children, grandchildren, spouse.
Basically, people can pay to be members of Connections and receive Jodi's online resources to help them deal with whatever issues they're facing. Jodi teaches 3 main truths: impeccable honesty, rigorous personal responsibility, and humility. On her website, she claims if people do not learn these new truths from her, they would never be able to connect with you or others. But what does
Yes, you must only learn these truths from Jodi, otherwise you will not know what you are doing. You will be forever lost. You will forever be lost and unconnected and just a lonely, addicted
What does this
person.
all have to do with Ruby Franke and 8 Passengers? Well, if you look on the Connection website, you'll see Ruby listed as one of Connection's team members. Her description says she is a certified mental fitness trainer with Connections. The website also states that she provides content on Connection's social media platforms and podcasts that focus on empowering parents and children to live in truth. Ruby, who has been accused of extreme methods, joined Connections in 2022 as a parenting expert. Ruby.
Oh yes, a parenting expert. Ruby Franke, the parenting expert. The one who starves her children and takes away her children's bedrooms for joking around with their siblings. Yes. That Ruby Franke, the parenting expert. Yes, of course.
Ruby began making regular appearances on Connection's YouTube channel. The channel featured videos of Jodi and Ruby discussing and lecturing on parenting methods.
I love children. I love your children. And I have a very sacred charge to help you protect them.
That's not disturbing at all. That's no. That's not at all creepy. Holy shit.
About to tell you will make that statement by Jodi feel very uncomfortable. Now let's fast forward to 2023. On August 10th, 2023, one of Jodi's neighbors placed a chilling call to 911.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house.
That 12-year-old boy was Ruby's son, Russell, and the neighbor's house he came from belonged to Jodi Hildebrandt. Jodi's neighbor goes on to explain that Russell had escaped from Jodi's house by crawling out of a window and appeared to be distressed, malnourished, hungry, and thirsty, with tape on his legs. From there, Utah police came knocking on Jodi's door. Once they entered the house, they were horrified by what they saw. Police discovered that Ruby's daughter, 10-year-old Eve, was being held captive in Jodi's home.
Eve, the same daughter that Jodi refused to go bring a lunch to. when she was at 6 years old at school.
She was also in the same horrible condition as her brother Russell. Russell and Eve were then taken to the hospital for medical evaluation. Upon further investigation, the police learned that Ruby had left her 2 children.
Women don't receive the priesthood, but you are banned from doing any jobs relating to family and kids. And people are warned to keep away. Oh, too bad that didn't happen with
Children
Jody.
in the care of Jody for an unknown amount of time. What we do know is that Ruby was in Jody's house on multiple occasions while her children were subjected to severe mistreatment. As a result, both Rudy and Jody were arrested by Utah police on August 30th, 2023. Ruby and Jody have been charged with 6 felony counts relating to the horrible condition Russell and Eve were living in, including physical injury, starvation, and mistreatment. Both of them have pleaded not guilty and are currently being held in a Utah jail awaiting trial.
Yeah, not guilty. I would like to see, I wonder if that trial is going to be public. And that was 4 months ago, so she was considered, so I think that was before the plea deal.
Outside of jail, things continue to unravel for Jody and Ruby. Jody Hildebrandt has lost her medical license, and Ruby and her husband have temporarily lost custody of 4 of their underage children.
I think they're living with their sister Sherry now.
Eve, Russell, Julie, and Abby. YouTube recently took down the 8 Passengers channel, but there's one family YouTube channel still operating in plain sight that I find pretty chilling. The family of scammers. This is the LeBrant family.
Okay, it's another family that I've never heard of.
Currently, with over 13 million subscribers, the family includes parents Cole and Savannah LeBrant and their 4 children, Everleigh, Posey, Zealand, and Sunday. Like most family YouTube channels, the LeBrant fam posts vlog-style videos showcasing their everyday family life. But what looks like the picture-perfect family on the outside is in reality a family full of creepy secrets.
Oh boy, what do we have now? This is a family I have not heard of at all, so let's see.
Cole and Savannah have an interesting backstory. Cole and Savannah's relationship was born out of internet fame. Cole gained internet fame in 2013 with a viral Vine post made with his friends, who called themselves Dem White Boys. Quickly rising to internet fame, Cole enjoyed the spotlight, but the other members got tired of their cringe-worthy videos, so the group fell apart. Meanwhile, Savannah became pregnant at 19 with her then boyfriend Tommy Smith. She gave birth to her daughter Everleigh in 2012. From there, she rose to internet fame by posting videos with Everleigh on Musical.ly, which is now TikTok.
Oh, of course, posting your baby on the internet. That's great. Just great. Absolutely insane and definitely a terrible set of women.
Cole and Savannah first started interacting with each other over Musical.ly.
So literally the only person I ever DM'd on Musical.ly was her, and it was just like a spur of the moment type thing. Like I never knew that.
When Savannah was 23 and Cole was 19, they unexpectedly met face to face while Cole was visiting California.
First thing I think is like, whoa, that's a pretty girl. But then as I'm kind of checking her out, I realized I've seen her before, and I'm trying to think where I saw her, and then I was like, oh, I think that's the girl from Musical.ly.
From there, the 2 social media stars were inseparable. They got married in 2017, and their wedding video currently has over 50 million views on YouTube.
Oh, wow. A 50 million view wedding video. Holy crap. I guess love can find itself on the internet.
Even though he was only 21 years old, Cole fully embraced his role as Everleigh's stepdad. The LeBrant fam channel became flooded with videos featuring Cole and Everleigh. One video titled 4-Year-Old Girl and Daddy Do Cutest Carpool Karaoke Ever currently has over 121 million views. As their YouTube channel grew bigger and bigger, so did their family. Cole and Savannah went on to have 3 kids together, Posey, Zealand, and Sunday. Their faces are also
Posey, Zealand, and Sun. What weird names. What strange names.
plastered all over the LeBrant fam channel. But like I mentioned earlier, this seemingly picture-perfect family is far from perfect because behind their smiles lies a dark history. In 2018, they posted a video titled, "We Left Our House Because of Fires in California." In the video, Cole and Savannah claimed that they were forced to evacuate their Ladera Ranch home due to California wildfires spreading through their neighborhood.
Let me guess. Their house was not touched at all by fire, In fact, the fire didn't even go near that neighborhood.
Couple police station for Fortnite. So we got our necessities in these 2 tiny bags. Everything that we don't want to get burned down.
A few days after posting the video, people started to poke holes in Savannah and Cole's story. It turns out this was all a lie. The wildfires were not near the LeBrant family's Ladera Ranch home, and one of their neighbors exposed Cole and Savannah's lies on the news.
Oh, called it. Called it. I called it. I had a feeling this was going to be a thing where the fire wasn't near their house.
Marissa Seamus lives near the LeBrants. She says plenty of the neighbors are not amused by the social media influencers.
I just think it's really sad that they would exploit a situation that's as serious as a fire, that so many people were evacuated, just so that they could get more likes or more hits on their channel.
No, they wanted money. I guarantee you they made a GoFundMe.
Cole and Savannah exploited a life-threatening crisis for clickbait and views. But this isn't the only scam they've been wrapped up in. In 2021, the LeBrants posted a video titled "She Got Diagnosed with Cancer" documentary. In the video—
Oh no, they did not. They did not go for the cancer. They did not go for the cancer shit. Oh, come on, guys.
Video, Cole and Savannah reveal that their toddler Posey has been in and out of the hospital since her birth. Then the word cancer comes into play.
I was truly just riddled with anxiety. I had convinced myself that our 2-year-old daughter had cancer.
Cole casually just dropped the bomb. Despite
they're using, it's not just bad enough that one of them is faking cancer. They've decided that they're going to pretend that their 2-year-old has cancer. Holy shit.
The video being titled "She Got Diagnosed with Cancer." Their daughter was never actually diagnosed with cancer. The LeBrants were essentially using cancer as the furthest form of clickbait. The couple quickly received massive backlash for misleading people into thinking that their daughter had cancer just so people would click on the video.
He said, hey, let me see if I can clickbait the hell out of my daughter not having cancer and bring in some random families that do, so that I can monetize real suffering since they're perfectly fine.
Cole eventually—
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. The fact that you're willing to say that your toddler has cancer, meanwhile there are actual families with actual toddlers that are fighting for their life. That is disgusting.
Eventually posted an Instagram story where he addressed the backlash the video received. In it, he said, "I want to start off by apologizing for any misleading title or thumbnail. I promise you that is not our heart." He then went on to say, "This is a video that we have been working so hard on for the past 6 months. Nothing for us, nothing for our gain." Despite his apology, the video is still on YouTube and is still titled "She Got Diagnosed with Cancer." While this cancer scam video revolved around Posey, Savannah's daughter and Cole's stepdaughter Everleigh appears to be the star of the LeBrant fam channel. Like I mentioned earlier, Savannah rose to internet fame by posting videos of her and Everleigh on Musical.ly. So Everleigh was raised on social media. I mean, social media is a great tool to connect with people and share what's important to us, but it can also be a breeding ground for disgusting people. From her dance recitals to trips to the water park documented on YouTube, Everleigh is not safe. One YouTuber, Josh Barbour, who hosts the Dad Challenge podcast, took a look behind the curtain of Everleigh's social media presence, and what he discovered was not okay. In a video titled "Bombshell Truths About the Dangers Family Vlogging," Josh dove into the analytics behind some of the biggest YouTube family channels. The video takes a disturbing turn when Josh uncovers the audience demographics of Everleigh's Instagram followers.
Let me guess. Men aged 40 to 60.
Now look at her demographics, everybody. 70% male. Lowest percentage is teenagers. So we can just eliminate that, but here we go. 50% of their male audience of 70% is watching this little girl and is between the ages of 18 and 44.
Okay, so I was off, but I said 40 to 60, but still. That is disgusting. That is just disgusting. 50% of the male audience is between 18 and 44. and they are following a child on Instagram.
Those numbers are horrible. How will Everleigh feel about this 10 years from now when she's able to fully grasp the fact that her parents have been making money off exposing her life to millions of strangers? How would any of these family channel kids feel when they're adults looking back at these videos? I believe in working hard for your income, but I don't believe in pushing moral boundaries to get there. These family YouTube channels seem to be doing whatever it takes to gain success, but at the expense of their children. So let me ask you, is that really success? I'll let you decide. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist to watch my videos about the dark side of internet culture, because the algorithm is going to promote my channel more if you guys watch multiple videos. Have an absolutely...
So let's go like this video. There we go. So that was, and like I said, I had a feeling there would be some channels that I had never heard about, and I was right. And this, like, pretending your daughter has cancer, that is, wow. I just can't even fathom that. Like, and it's just all these family, this is why, and he says, I wonder how Everleigh will feel in 10 years. She won't care because she won't know any different. It won't be because there won't be a comparison for her. She's just used to sharing everything on her pages. So the fact that her family has been monetizing her since she was born, kind of, it'll just be second nature to her. And that's unfortunate and it's sad, but that's pretty much the only thing she will have known. So it really, like, she's not going to be upset by it because it's not something that she will be able to look at with a comparison to anything else and say, hey, why did you do this to me? And that's unfortunate. Okay, it's time to be right back and get more coffee and go to the bathroom. So, if you need more coffee, now is your time. Go share the stream out. And consider hitting up that streamlabs.com/blindpress link, because we do have a stream goal. So let's see if we can meet that $80 stream goal today. I'll be right back. Okay. We're back. Hey, Lord Famine, what's up? How are you? So, our next video is from Moist Critical. Apparently, he has discovered a degenerate cop. I'm wondering what text or what screenshots he has discovered. Because sometimes he finds some really, really fucked up shit on some interesting sites like those texts that he finds. So I would like to see what he found with this cop. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here and see what this is. So here we go. Take it away, Charlie.
I learned about an extremely degenerate cop today that had a video surface with his behavior that's probably more embarrassing to the department than that cop that started going like G.I. Joe mode and just mag dumping after an acorn fell on his squad car.
I should still remember that. Oh God. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Officer Anthony Hare of the San Diego Pussy Department found himself in hot water after he was caught red-handed in the back seat with a female arrestee after she said she was down to fuck.
Oh! Oh, dear! So no, you're not supposed to do that. That is not a thing you're supposed to do, officer.
So, one can infer from the context here that they weren't back there playing any Magic the Gathering. They weren't having themselves a commander night. There was sin and semen that contaminated the vehicle. He laid down more than justice that night. He's since resigned, but you can scrub away the cum, but you can't scrub the video footage because it has surfaced. Not of him actually, doing the dirty deeds here.
I was gonna say, wait, there's video of him in the car? Oh dear. Oh my. Oh my. See, okay, that's it. That's it. I need to find a fucking soundboard.
But of him being caught because he locked himself in the back seat and thus needed assistance. And speaking of assistance, I bet you need help drinking beverages in a better way. That's what this Moist Gamer Subs Waifu Collab Cup is all about.
Oh,
it's still available for about one more week, so go ahead and get this puppy right now. It's the finest goblet you'll ever drink out of. I'll put a link to it in the description. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you the video here as we go over the more particular elements of the case.
We get a video! We get video of him getting caught in the car. Hooray!
So there was an officer in San Diego. Here, I'll just play the video. You don't even need to read the breakdown. I'll just show you the video real quick.
That has got to be the funniest video I've seen in a while. Oh, you've seen it, Duck Duck.
Oh, you're not. Don't say that right now. No, I said don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now.
Everything's being recorded right now. Please don't say that. I'm begging you.
So this opened my eyes to a problem that I talked about a lot. That cops have full control over when they can stop recording something. So he mentions right there, this woman's like, I'm super down to fuck. And Anthony, he's pitching a tent. He's like, oh. And he's like, wait, don't say anything because he's pitching a tent.
Yeah, listen to the way he's saying that.
That cops have full...
Everything's... No, I said don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now.
Listen to him. He's like, don't say that right now because everything's being recorded.
So this opened my eyes to a problem that I talked about a lot. That cops have full control over when they can stop recording something. So he mentions right there, this woman's like, I'm super down to fuck. And Anthony, he's pitching a tent. He's like, oh. Oh.
Yeah, he's like, really?
He's like, wait, don't say anything, because this is still recording right now. He hasn't had a chance to turn it off. But he does. He does get that chance.
What's going on?
I can't hear what she's saying.
He does. He does get that chance.
What's going on?
You can hear him. He's fiddling with it.
So then he takes her down here, and then they slam ham.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! She actually oh Jesus!
And he gets locked in the back seat of the car. So he pulls over here.
Fucking
He and
idiot.
this woman, they do the hanky panky in the back seat of the police cruiser, and Goober's stuck. So then another officer gets to the scene to free him. In front of a house. Yeah, that was another thing. The place he pulls in front of is just a fucking house.
Just a random house. I'm just gonna pull in front of this random house and fuck this Iresti. It's totally normal and fine, you guys.
Like, imagine, like, you see the police car pull up, you're like, oh god, what's happening out here? And then you see this officer fucking in the back seat of the car here. Like, he didn't even go anywhere secluded or anything. He literally just slabs
like
up in front of this house.
Random house.
I also just learned a little, I guess a little hack here for police cars. You can open the back door with that. That's a little trick.
And he's like, and why were you back there? Anybody want to tell me? This was a skit in Super Troopers. Well, apparently now it's real life.
114 yellow. We're code 4. Okay, hold on. Let me turn my camera off.
Isn't that fucking awful?
Hold on, let me turn my camera off. No, don't do that. Leave it on.
Okay. Yeah, let me turn this off real quick.
Wait. Before you confess to all of the awful shit you just did right here, let me turn off my camera. So that way there's no evidence.
No.
You turned off your camera, right?
Keep that shit on.
Okay, good. Just making sure. That's so dumb. If you can just turn it off whenever, it's so fucking stupid. Typically, it was like, oh, the camera malfunctioned, but here's just like, wait, let me turn this off.
When they're with somebody. Yeah, they
like, what's
are,
the point?
but
no, he got fired or resigned or whatever.
Turning it off.
His claim is that he was just checking on her and that everything went wrong.
Oh,
you can.
Yeah. He was just checking on her and everything went wrong. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's sure. I'll buy that and also the bridge you have to sell me.
You can see him like saying like everything just went wrong. I was being such a gentle sir. I went back there to make sure everything was okay. You know, I moonlight as a gynecologist, and she was having a medical emergency with throbbing pussy syndrome, and I went back there, and one thing leads to another. I'm stuck in the back seat, and now you're probably getting the wrong idea about what happened here. It was totally professional.
Yeah, I totally didn't go back there to stick my winky in her kitchen sinky. No. I did not.
The semen was there earlier from a different suspect. You should have seen this fucking maniac. This degenerate was jerking off in the back seat and fucking blowing loads all over the place. It's not my semen. And if you can trace it to me, it's because he got some of my hair. He got some of my DNA.
He got some of my hair. I love how Charlie's just trying to come up with this shit off the top of his head.
He was looking for contraband. So true. Keeping the streets safe. I was back there purely to make sure there were no drugs.
Yes.
She obviously planted the evidence on his belt. Now, the official explanation here from the source itself, Mr. Anthony Hare, says that he went back there because he believed that the woman was having a medical emergency.
Yeah. I thought she was having a medical emergency, so I went back there to have sex with her.
I'm actually inclined to believe Mr. Hare on this claim because I think there is a very high chance she was suffering a medical emergency.
Nymphomania?
Cock withdrawals. This is a serious medical condition. In fact, it claimed the life of one of my buddy's grandmothers when we were growing up. She actually passed away from wiener withdrawals. If left unattended, the symptoms can be severe.
She passed away from wiener withdrawals. Oh my god, Charlie.
And even life-threatening. So, Mr. Hare was just following his code to the letter. Protect and serve. Penis. And he didn't want to do it. Brother is a hero. He shouldn't be forced to resign over a misunderstanding. He should have been given the key to the city, I'd say. This whole thing is a classic example of it's not what it looks like.
Oh,
you know?
No. Not at all.
He did what he had to do in the moment. And then, if we go back to the explanation, it all makes perfect sense. When he was getting out of the car, it accidentally knocked his body camera off.
Yes. It totally makes sense that the body camera was, carefully placed somewhere. It was knocked off, just very, very carefully knocked off and placed away. Does that bridge go from Manhattan directly into a gold mine? Yes. Yes, it does.
Which is just a pure coincidence that the body camera, went dark after she had made the statement about being down to have sex, and after him mentioning that the body camera was recording things. It's just really just unfortunate timing that he happened to have knocked the body camera off and it went dark right after those things had been said. But it could happen to anybody. According to the other officer, Mr. Hare was pretty embarrassed, refusing to elaborate on exactly what was happening and why he needed him out there and why he was asking about like a master key to the vehicle and stuff like that. And the woman was also, interviewed by investigators, and she claimed that he had asked for her number and to meet up when she was released from jail.
Yo, can I get your number? This sex was so good that when you're out of jail, I want more.
Saying he wanted to get with me when I was done with the warrant or whatever I got arrested for. She told investigators there was never any sexual contact between her and Mr. Hare.
I don't believe you.
Really?
I don't believe you at all. I don't believe you for one solitary second.
You sure about that? What happened? Was there ejaculation showers that night? Why did he have cum on him? Where was that? Did someone like drive by and like throw in a cum potion?
No, he got in a condom fight. That's what happened. He got in a condom fight with a bunch of frat boys.
Like, how did that happen if there was no sexual contact? But who am I to question the official story, I suppose? One thing I would like to see a little bit more elaboration on is why the officer who showed up told him to stop talking so he could turn off his body cam, and they...
Yeah, why did the officer that came to rescue the other police officer from the back seat with a female arrestee go, wait, don't say anything till I turn off my body cam? Yeah, why did that happen again? That's a good question.
And they continue the conversation. That's a little weird, right? If it was all just like a big misunderstanding, wouldn't you want that on record so you could clear up all of the misconceptions about it? That just seems a little suspicious. I just think it's super dumb that at any point in time an officer can just turn off their body cam and that doesn't lead to a lot of questions about why.
There should be like if the body cam is turned off, there should be like an alarm sent to the supervisor or whatever. And if it's the supervisor's body cam, then the alarm should go to the chief of police. And it should be like, why are you turning off, like, it, over the radio, publicly, hey, why'd you turn that off? And unless they can answer, sir, I'm in the middle of discussing operational procedure, then they should be remotely turned back on. That's what I think.
I don't know. That just rubs me the wrong way. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of it, really.
It does.
I wonder how often this happens. Probably more often than you'd think, I guess. I would guess. You remember, I actually made a video on this one like a year ago. There was a cop who slabbed up in front of a school. I think it was a high school, and had a woman come into his police cruiser so they could fucking clap cheeks, so that way they could steam ham together
in front of a school?
In the back seat of his police cruiser in front of the school, and they would kick her out. So they were like having an affair, and they do it in front of a school.
That is nasty. That is just nasty and wrong.
So it probably happens a lot. In general, is it illegal to have sex in a car?
I think
that's a really good question. I'm gonna Google it because
that's indecent exposure, right? Because I've heard of people getting charged for that.
Count as like public indecency or something, right? Wouldn't it if you got caught?
Yeah.
But like you can have sex in a car in your garage or something. Like if it's on private property and not in public. Like I think you just have to be out of view of the public.
Watch Charlie now is
Generally, it is illegal to have sex in public if a reasonable person believes that someone will see them. Therefore, if you do not have reasonable expectation of privacy and you decide to have sex in your car, you could be brought up on criminal charges.
Yep. Yeah, because your car, it has windows, it has, like, generally you can't put your car in as a secluded spot as, say, being in a house or, like, off in a set of woods somewhere. So, like, yeah, a car would probably be considered a more public space.
So you can if it's not in public view.
Yeah.
So somewhere private. Which makes sense.
Not in front of a house or school, officer.
Makes membership pricky. Though I like the idea that there's just a blanket illegality to it. Like, having sex in a car will have you in jail no matter where you do it. So, like, you park your car in your garage... You fuck your wife or whatever, and then all of a sudden sirens are blaring like, get the fuck out! Get off the ground! We know what you just did here! You're going to the slammer! Having sex in a car! Have you no decency?
Oh my god, I can totally see it too.
If you fuck in your car in the garage, do you leave it running? Educational question.
Oh!
I guess it depends on how long
I
you
would
last.
say no. I would say it depends on where your car is. If it's parked in an enclosed space, definitely no. Definitely do not leave it running.
If you're a one-pump chump, you could probably get away with leaving your car on, but if you actually go for a while...
Chump? Oh my god.
Like, maybe there's a carbon monoxide risk, potentially. I guess it depends on how long you do it. I would say you'd probably want to turn your car off just to be safe. You could at least leave the electrical on and have the air blowing.
Yeah.
Probably don't need the whole car on. If you die mid-nut, will the semen that comes out still be viable?
Yes.
I don't see why not.
Fuck man, Charlie's chat has the weirdest fucking questions. Holy shit. Oh my god. If you die mid-nut, will that semen still be viable? What the fuck? It depends how cold it is. Oh, Lord Famine, that's funny. Oh my god, that's too funny. That is just too funny. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I just can't even. I'm so glad I found that video. Ugh, I'm so glad I found that. It's always worth a laugh. Always worth a laugh. Whew, that was funny. And don't forget, guys, I do also have my Patreon active again. I'm uploading all the guitar practice videos up there. All right, so Rev has put up a video, And again, I've put all the videos that I'm watching in the description of the stream with the titles. So this video by Rev is called "This Generation is Cooked." And this is a kind of a theme that we've been talking about this week when it comes to the current generation and social media and gaming and stuff. So let's take a look at what Rev is talking about.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So I always have a lot of sympathy for people who go through the experience of seeing their hobby get brigaded by a bunch of weirdos on Twitter, and that's exactly what we're dealing with today. So the other day, I made a very quick video on my alt channel going over what seems like a fan service arms race in the gacha scene. Now, recently, Azurlane's been dropping bangers, a lot of fan service, even more than usual, and I think a lot of companies like Nikke, for example, are trying to respond with more fan service themselves.
And I am really, like, fan service isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fan service can be incredibly good. No, you can't say anything about adding funds to the police. That's hate speech, young lady. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for the hate speech.
And this was the post that I featured. It is a promotional post for the character Soda with this bunny outfit. And
fan service is not necessarily a bad thing. Like right now, Mortal Kombat is doing a great job with Homelander and Farah for both the boys fans and MK fans. It's like fan service can be really good.
I talked about the fan service in that video. So like obviously we can see the Hunkabalunkas flapping in the wind here. She even has what appears to be a vibrator on her hip. A lot of fan service, okay? And in that video, I focused on the more lighthearted aspects of it. But back then, I did not look at the quotes. I was totally unaware of the war that was being waged in the quotes and the replies of this post. And as a lot of people noticed, a lot of the people trashing on that design are Genshin Impact players. And boy howdy is that a terrible experience.
Children.
There's a lot of insults you can make. You can tell people to game in themselves, but that is weak compared to, I hope your favorite hobby gets brigaded by Genshin Impact players, because that
fucking children that play Genshin Impact, man. Jesus Christ. Fucking, why can't they just stay in their stupid whatever free-to-play game they are playing and just let people enjoy their shit?
Because that's exactly what's happening in this situation. So let's jump right into the mental illness. Here's an interaction in the replies that really sets the tone. This person says, Nikke women definitely look too old for the taste of Genshin's audience. I'm not denying...
Well, it's not supposed to be for Genshin's audience. It's supposed to be for the Nikke audience. Jesus
that there
Christ.
Isn't creeps in the Genshin fandom, but saying this when the girl in the post looks like an over-sexualized minor is quite hypocritical.
What?
You gotta be shitting me, dude. This is the character they're referring to as a child.
Minor?
They looked at this anime girl with massive titties, the size of literal watermelons, and their first thought was children.
Children. What the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit. Who thinks of children with tits that big? What is wrong with these people? Why are they so mentally disturbed?
That is very strange. And they call you the weird one for enjoying this design. Meanwhile, that is the kind of thought process they're having when they look at this character. But let's move on to the quotes. This user said this. Why is this considered normal? Really? Some of you need to be put on a watch list for the games you play. Ah, yes. Let's put people on a watch list for playing Nikke and other gacha games. Honestly, what doesn't get you on a watch list according to Twitter users these days? Like, literally enjoying anything that has anything to do with an anime girl will drop you on one of these Twitter watch lists. But here's another one saying whenever someone downloads this game, there will be a sniper waiting outside their window. Ah, we've elevated to death threats, straight from the watch list to death threats. I wish I could say I was surprised by that quick jump there, but this is Twitter, of course. Here's another one saying, I've met a total of 2 people who play this game, and they both admit that this game is way too sexual and agreed with us when we made fun of them. Ah, yes, you guys probably were having a riot as you had this conversation. You know, and Chip and Penny. Must have been a real funny conversation.
Yeah, you were probably roasting these poor these poor people, and they probably agreed with you just because they felt like they had to.
But here's another quote saying, God, I effing hate this game and anyone who plays it. This is always very strange to me. Like, how do you have the energy for this? Like, how do you have the energy to hate someone who plays a game or to hate a game?
Yeah, no, she is not a minor, Jesus Christ. Yeah, right? This is one of our common bunny waifu chicks. Yeah, there's no way that
all
she's
these things,
child.
of which you could completely ignore if you wanted to. But instead, you sit there and you seethe about people playing a game. It's so strange. How do you have the energy to hate people who play Nikke? Like, just ignore them. And ignore the game if you don't like it. It's not that deep.
Right? Like, why does it always have to be this weird, like, I have to engage with something that I hate and prove just how much I hate it? Like, what? Why? And again, like I keep pointing out, if you look at the ones with all these complaints, if you look at the ones, all of these complaints, yeah, it's exactly what you'd think. Yeah. All these like fat, small-titted, blue-haired Karens.
Here's another one saying, I'm so serious, please block me if you played this weirdo stuff. Ah, yes.
Oh,
I bet
yeah,
if you read their
'cause
bio
Genshin
on Twitter, it'd be
Impact
something
isn't
like, please do not interact if you're a racist, a homophobe, a Nazi, or a Nikke player.
Wait,
like,
what?
that is the level of seriousness they have towards something like playing a gotcha
a Nazi,
game.
or
But here's
a
another one
Nikke
saying,
player?
please, I don't
Okay.
give a F about sexualization, this or that, but instead of just how awful the live 2D stuff looks, like, why does her breast just snap into place like that? Whoever invented it, when I join you in hell, we will duke it out. No holds barred.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? They're just drawn boobs. They're literally, that's all it is. It's drawings of boobs. Like, why are people so upset about drawings of breasts? It's an anime game. They're supposed to be over the top like that. If you don't like the game Nikke, don't fucking play it. Don't engage with the people who watch it or who play it. But you don't have to like seek death threats on them. You don't have like what is wrong with these mentally ill people? And this is coming from someone who's mentally ill. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand.
I doubt you're going to do anything like that. You're going to duke it out. People like you have a panic attack when you're trying to order fast food. Like, it's not that deep, again. But moving on, this user says this has got to be the worst anime girl design I have ever laid eyes on. Now, I understand if you don't...
So I guess we're downloading Genshin Impact next?
like this design, it's not your thing, but really... the worst ever. It's the worst ever. Every time there's like a discussion about an anime character design and people are mad about it on Twitter, they always say, whatever the latest one is, it's the worst design ever. Meanwhile, millions of people clearly enjoy it. But moving on to the next one, deeply questioning how exactly stereotypical men find this attractive. I don't know, guys. In the comment section, can you help me understand why straight men would enjoy this character design? It's definitely a very confusing and
straight men, lesbians. Gee, why would that be? Why would they find that character attractive?
Tough question to answer, am I right, guys? Moving on, here's another one saying, why would you design something like this? You have to be sick in the head, actually. Ah, yes. Being told you're sick in the head for this character design. Meanwhile, all of the people in the quotes are treating this character like it's a real person. Listen to these comments.
In fact, if Soul Calibur 6 were more popular, people would be crying over Taki.
Probably leaning like that because her back is killing her. No wonder she's bending over and moving like that. Her back must be snapped in half. So, she has crippling back issues, right? Pray for her back, chat. She's probably in pain.
God.
She's probably not because she's not real.
Right? They're ink boobs. They're not real. They're fucking drawn. What are we...
I don't understand. Every time there's a large-breasted anime character, people start talking about back issues. She's not feeling anything. She's not real.
She's not...
I hope this helps. But moving on, this user said, is she holding her suit strap up with her hands? Well, I'm glad you have observational skills.
Some people have nothing better to do
what's
than
happening.
freak out about
what else do you want to
cartoon
add?
Yep.
This person said, imagine a dude doing this. Well, I would imagine it would look something like this, you know? But again, as always, people always make this comment about, what if they did this fan service to men? Okay, do it. Like, no one's telling you no.
Back.
Or go ahead and create your own game and do whatever you want and see if you can compete. Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. And also, here's another round of very similar points being made. People saying, who actually likes this game? Like, I'm so serious. Do people unironically enjoy this? Are people...
Like, why do people have such a hard time believing that a certain genre of video game is enjoyed by people? I really don't understand. These people would cry over... Oh, that fast food statement is so true.
Are people actually playing this? Do people seriously play this game? I can't believe shit like this is topping the gacha charts, yet Alchemy Stars is barely making any money, which, first of all, skill issue. But all these people saying, like, who plays this? How does anyone play this? There's no way anyone plays this. Meanwhile, users like this are pointing out that they've made almost $1 billion in a year and a half. Nikkei is loaded. People are clearly playing this game and spending a lot of money on it. Like, this is not some insider info. It turns out a lot of people would pay good money to see a bunch of sexy anime characters.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked and appalled that tons of people would pay money to see sexy anime characters. What a revelation.
I know, this is shocking, but Nikkei knows their audience and they are appealing to it and they are earning a lot of money. And there's a lot of people flocking to gacha games like Nikkei, mainly because of the fan service and the character designs that clearly a lot of people like. And also, I always find it very narcissistic when people see stuff like Nikkei, they don't play it personally, or maybe they haven't really heard of it, or the designs are something that's not their forte, so they immediately go, well, if I don't like it or I haven't heard of it, then clearly nobody in the world has either, because basically they're the center of the universe and they can't believe.
Yep. Talum, and
people would do anything that they're not aware of or a personal fan of. But moving on, here's another comment saying people really unironically play this game and are public about it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a video game. Like, you shouldn't be put on a watch list or threatened or wanting people to harass you, or for the simple fact you're playing a game. Again, third time I've said this in this video, it's not that deep. It's
literally just an anime game that people enjoy playing. It doesn't make you any type of predator or anything like that. It's just a video game.
Just a game. Let people enjoy playing a game. Here's another comment saying, if I was a voice actor, I would not want this game on my resume. Why? Why wouldn't you want this game on your resume? In fact, here is the voice actress who is clearly very excited about getting this role. Would you tell her to her face that she should be embarrassed to the point of not wanting this on her resume?
Well,
you
apparently
probably
they would.
I think she's very excited about this, as she should be. It's a great opportunity. Like, please, stop being so insecure about your hobbies or what people on places like Twitter might think about you. But honestly, a lot of the reaction in the quotes too involves people mocking a lot of the Genshin Impact players, trying to say something about this design. You can see memes like this getting a lot of likes. And also this simple point that is a very good one. Makes me happy to see the game gatekeep itself. That is a very important function, and one that was true with anime for a very long time, and now with increasing censorship and things like that, and studios catering to a bunch of crybabies on Twitter, that wall, that gatekeeping function is getting a little bit weaker for anime. But I'm glad to see Nikkei gatekeeping all these people out of their fandom. Like, it's a great function, and I'm glad to see it happen. But that's gonna do it for this video. There was a lot of interesting topics coming up, so as always, feel free to share your thoughts about them in the comments section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
So that is, I can't believe those damn The stupid young Genshin Impact players who don't understand what anime is supposed to look like. They're like, oh my god, these people are predators. Put them on a watch list. Like, what the fuck? That is absolutely insane. Just insane. I cannot believe that people are that out of their minds over sexy looking females. Like, I just can't. It's insane to me that people are that prudish. That children are that prudish, that they're saying that adults should be put on a watch list for liking another adult. Think about it. You've got people attacking everybody for everything nowadays, and everybody under 25 is now a child. Yeah, it's true. That, like, the way that people act, it's like everybody under 25 is a minor child, and they have no what's the word? Autonomy over themselves at all. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, that's not how that works. You need to own what you're doing and accept the consequences for your actions. All right. Where are we here now? We are going to do a quick break, and then we'll be back with our last 3 videos. And the next one's gonna be quite terrifying because it has to do with mercury-based face cream. So let's be right back, and we'll watch that. Hit up the Streamlabs link while I'm gone. Pinkala says apparently Leonardo DiCaprio is a pedophile because his new girlfriend is 19. Yeah, that's ridiculous. A 19-year-old is not a child. Okay. Here we go. Let's learn about the woman who used contaminated face cream and what happened to her brain. because mercury is a fun element.
A woman rubbed contaminated skin cream on her face. This is what happened to her brain. BD is a 46-year-old woman presenting to the emergency room with slurred speech and blurred vision. 2 weeks earlier, she was at this same emergency room because her hands had become weak. An intense pins and needles feeling turned them completely numb.
Sounds like neuropathy.
Then, it didn't seem like anything immediately life-threatening was happening to her, but now that she can't see or speak clearly, it means something terrible is happening to her.
So that sounds like she's got neuropathy, and then this sounds like classic Hatters, like the Mad Hatters stuff.
A few years ago, BD believed that she had problems with blemishes on her skin. To her, these dark spots were terrible signs of aging and sun damage, and she had to do something about this before it was too late. A friend had told her about skin lightening cream that helps with this. These contain special ingredients that were ethically sourced from various corners of the world.
Of course. It's always the creams that are ethically sourced that end up causing the most issues. Haven't you ever noticed that? You know, oh, I bought this cream. It was ethically sourced from, you know, X, Y, and Z plant products. But strangely, now my skin is falling off. Like, why is it always those specific things, those ethically sourced products that end up fucking with our bodies?
That gently inactivate certain enzymes in the skin to fix and prevent blemishes. These were so effective that access to this cream could only be had through special ordering channels, but BD was in luck.
Special
Her friend
ordering
had
channels.
with
That,
the most
of course.
authoritative source on importing these creams, as she was able to order a large supply and start using them. BD applied this cream to her face twice daily, and the blemishes were going away, but over time, she started noticing something was wrong. One evening, BD suddenly emptied her stomach from both ends.
Oh, that's a problem. That's especially if you have no cause to do so. That's never good.
She rinsed out her mouth with water afterwards. A metallic taste pierced into her cheeks. A burning sensation rolled over her tongue, but she really wasn't sure what this was. It didn't hurt, and it would come and go. BD didn't think too much about all of this happening, and she continued to apply the skin lightening cream to her face. One day, BD noticed that she kept dropping her phone. Originally, she thought that maybe it was just slippery, but a pins and needles feeling in her hands started getting more and more intense.
There's the neuropathy from the mercury poisoning. That's definitely Mad Hatter's
It would wake
disease.
her up at night. In the emergency room, doctors didn't find anything immediately life-threatening. They sent her home and scheduled an appointment with a different doctor who wanted her to come back after a couple weeks to see how she was doing. But BD wasn't
after
going to
a
last
couple
a
of
couple
weeks,
more weeks.
yes.
She started having trouble seeing, and she couldn't drive anymore. She had trouble speaking because her family couldn't understand what she was saying. And she started having trouble walking, bringing us back to the emergency room, where we are now.
This definitely sounds like she basically poisoned herself with her cream. Because she's having all the symptoms of mercury poisoning, like the vomiting, the burning, like the metallic taste, the pins and needles in her hands, the inability to walk properly, losing her sight, losing her speech.
At examination, the medical team were concerned about two things. BD went from having weakness and numbness in her hands to having blurred vision, unsteady gait, and slurred speech, all in the time span of 2 weeks. The speed of her decline gives them clues as to what's happening, but not only this, where this is happening gives them a second set of clues.
Her brain.
Clearly, BD's problems are related to her nerves, but where specifically? Her problem is not just some of her nerves, because it devolved into a problem spanning her entire body, from the way that she moves to her senses.
So yeah, like it's not just one area, it's everything. So it's obviously in her central nervous system, it's in her brain.
This means that there could be something wrong with her brain. But An MRI reveals nothing wrong. There's no visible structural abnormalities. Her brain isn't swelling and folding on itself. It doesn't have anything abnormal growing out of it. She also doesn't have a fever, so this likely isn't an infection like meningitis.
Okay, so that's interesting. It's not showing in an MRI in brain damage or anything like that. That's interesting. I would have thought that it would have shown up on an MRI at least. That's fascinating.
When the medical team took a routine blood test, they find that BD is normal. As the days pass, they find that BD would have random, delirious episodes in between long periods of silence where she would sit there and stare into the void.
Hallucination.
When sounds came out of her mouth, they were just mumbles and screams. One of the new doctors on the team decided to order a blood test, different from the ones that had been done routinely. The final cause of BD's problems that hadn't really been looked through was a toxic one. And when they looked at the results, they find that BD's mercury levels are 1,400 times the upper limit of normal.
Holy
shit! And this explains everything happening to her. But what's in her blood is only a part of what's in her body, meaning that there's likely even more mercury that's absorbed into her organs.
Like, how would an ethically sourced cream contain that much mercury? Like, that's basically the levels of one of those Victorian, you know, like the Victorian-based creams where they would put, like, actual, like, elemental mercury in it and make it into a cream. And it was like a literal mercury like a mercury cream. That's what this sounds like.
So
it sounds like
she
bought a Victorian
blood
lotion.
This brings us to the idea of absorption. Mercury is a metal. It's the only one that's liquid at room temperature on Earth. In this form, it doesn't absorb into the skin. You'll see that it rolls right off and the bulk fluid doesn't enter the body. This is why you'll hear people say that they touched mercury from a thermometer and they'll ask why they didn't get mercury poisoning. It's because it doesn't absorb into the skin, but rather in this form, sometimes small amounts of vapor can come up from the liquid and get inhaled, and that vapor can cause mercury poisoning.
Okay, interesting. So because it's at room temperature, it can therefore have a bit of the vapor coming off the liquid. Okay, I see. That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
This would be considered elemental mercury poisoning, but it isn't what happened to BD. When the medical team asked her family more about when all of this started, they learned that BD had been using a skin lightening cream 2 times daily for 7 years.
Okay, that'll do it. Especially if the person selling this cream basically made it into one of those Victorian
And when the
ones.
medical team saw that it had no ingredients on its label, they contacted the state and the poison center for
no
further
ingredients?
instructions. In the laboratory, the public health department analyzed the cream. High levels of mercury were found, but something was wrong. When creams like this have mercury...
Chubby emu? Yep. Because the ethically sourced plants come from countries with 0 environmental controls. Oh. Interesting. The Victorian makeup had lead in it. Yes, it did. But they also made a cream. I was watching this thing about Victorian households and the secret death traps within Victorian households. And they did talk about lead and arsenic in makeup, but they also talked about a specific type of skin cream that Victorian women used that was made with mercury. And it had like 35 to 40% mercury in the cream.
It's usually in a salt form. Table salt that we add to food is sodium chloride, where sodium is the part that's a metal. But we don't think of sodium really as a metal, because we think of it in the form that floats around in our blood as an electrically charged particle. Instead of sodium...
I think of sodium as... I'm probably wrong, but I think of sodium as, like, just salt.
Mercury can be the metal in salt. This is the form that you may have heard of in old medicines like a treatment for syphilis. Salt forms like this tend to break up in the body, leaving the metal floating around as a charged particle, ending in mercury poisoning. The mercury found in BD's skin lightening cream was a salt, but it's more complex than that. Instead of just mercury ion as the metal, it was a chemical called methyl mercury. Oil is a mixture of several different hydrocarbons, and this methyl hydrocarbon branch attached to mercury was what BD was rubbing onto her face.
So because it had like the methyl, I'm not sure what the chemistry, the chemistry behind it, but it sounds like because it became attached to the methyl molecule.
This carbon-containing mercury is called an organic mercury. Mercury salt and organic mercury, unlike elemental mercury, absorb through the skin and into the body.
And organic mercury, this is where we're probably getting from like those ethically sourced plants. Like, I had no idea that there was something called organic mercury.
BD applying this cream to her face every day, twice daily, accumulated mercury in her body, but what was it doing? Mercury is a heavy metal. When elements are heavy, it means that they have a lot of mass. The human body is made almost entirely of 6 elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur.
None of these elements... phosphorus in us? Interesting. Why did I not know that? So run that by me again. What are the elements?
It means that they have a lot of mass. The human nitrogen is made almost entirely of 6 elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur.
Huh. The sulfur I knew, the nitrogen and hydrogen and oxygen and carbon I knew. But yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know about the phosphorus. Brain swelling is fun for the whole family, isn't it?
None of these elements are heavy. They're pretty light. They're not massive, and this means that they're typically stable. But mercury isn't light. It's relatively stable in its elemental form, but that's
ethically
not the form
sourced
in BD's
does
body.
not mean
this
intelligently
mercury
sourced.
has a tendency
True,
towards
Lord
instability, and in order to stabilize itself, it's going to interact with parts and structures in the body, and this is where the permanent damage happens. Our physical
Phosphorus
form is made
found
of
in the
proteins,
bones, I
and
believe.
proteins are chains of 20 different amino acids. Amine referring to nitrogen. Some of these amino acids have sulfur, and it's here where mercury preferentially likes to act. Cells like to pump electrolytes in and out so they can maintain balance. But when mercury is present, it breaks the pumps because those pumps are made of proteins that have sulfur.
Oh, so the mercury finds the sulfur in our bodies and it reacts with that.
Without balance, the cells can't function properly. Hair is made of proteins that are rich in sulfur. This sulfur is why burning hair smells bad, but it's also why mercury can be found in hair.
I didn't know that either. See, this is why I wanted to watch this video, because I knew about mercury poisoning, but I didn't know how it worked and what it bound to. Calcium phosphate.
When hair is tested, it can be used to detect large mercury ingestions, but hair binds to environmental mercury, which never entered the person's body. At least in the United States, large amounts of mercury shouldn't be floating around in the air, and it shouldn't be on surfaces. But hair can collect it based on this contact, so it could lead one to believe that they've ingested mercury when in fact they haven't.
Okay, so they're saying that in the United States, because of environmental control and protection, you're not necessarily going to get like mercury all over you, but it can happen, and that's why your hair would show that.
Cells need to break down chemicals when they're done with them. For example, when nerve signals are sent, the neurotransmitters that sent those signals need to be taken away. Enzymes do this breaking down, but enzymes are proteins. When someone is poisoned with mercury, those enzymes don't work anymore. Do you remember that oil is made of hydrocarbon chains? Well, oil doesn't mix with water, but it mixes with other oils and fats.
Like
knowing that BD's
salt.
skin lightening cream had methyl mercury, a hydrocarbon branch, we know that it preferentially mixes with fat tissue in the body. But everything in the body has fat. Cells have a lipid bilayer, and methylmercury gets in and breaks the enzymes inside, causing toxicity. Is there a part of the body that has more fat than others? Well,
yes, but I don't know what it is.
the brain is 60% fat. Because
Really?
fat dissolves in fat and blood is made of water, which isn't fat, then mercury gathered into her nerves and her brain.
Really? The brain is 60% fat. I did not know that. This is fascinating. Learning about this shit. The brain is 60% fat. Interesting. I had no idea. I guess that's why it is the consistency that it is. Huh.
BD had movement disorders. This tells us that mercury has deposited into the part of her brain that controls movement called the cerebellum. And unfortunately, we have enough information on methylmercury poisoning to know that this is typical. In 1956, Minamata City in Japan, by the water, a 5-year-old girl presented to the emergency room with difficulty walking, trouble speaking, and seizures.
Mercury. Did
2
she
days
have
later,
mercury
her younger
poisoning?
sister presented with exactly the same symptoms. Their mother told the doctors that their neighbor's daughter also had been experiencing the same problems, prompting public health officials to investigate a potential outbreak, and they found 8 people in the neighborhood with the same signs and symptoms. Officials who were investigating found that cats living in the area would have convulsions before passing away.
So even the cats were being poisoned by mercury. Huh.
Something that the locals called cat dancing disease.
Cat
Crows and
dancing
other birds
disease.
would suddenly fall from the sky, their bodies unable to move normally. Fish
Weird.
would float up to the surface of the water and become lifeless. All of this started to make
The
more sense
hell
when
happened?
they realized that a local chemical factory had been dumping wastewater into the bay, and inside that wastewater was methyl mercury.
That'll do it. And that's probably the same type of mercury that is poisoning the water in the Grassy Narrows indigenous reservation right now. Because there is a mill that is close by, and it's come out last week that there was that the mercury has been coming from this mill and making the water basically poisonous.
The fish absorbed it into their bodies through the water. The cats and the birds would eat the fish and accumulate
And
mercury,
die.
causing the same problems that happen in humans because the locals living in the town also ate the fish. Typically, we refrain from naming diseases after specific locations because, in this case, chemical factories can be anywhere.
Anywhere.
And this mercury poisoning can also happen anywhere. But when the medical team did BD's first blood test, finding out that she had mercury poisoning, her blood levels were 10 times the average person who got sick from this incident in Minamata City.
Jesus Christ. What was this shit? Just pure methyl mercury?
Do you remember that mercury likes to bind to sulfur? Well, that means that there might be a way to remove the mercury from BD. The medical team used succimer. Technically, the sulfur here should be able to surround the mercury. It should be able to prevent it from binding to any more proteins in the body, further preventing damage. The problem is, succimer won't be able to displace mercury already absorbed into her organs. And even worse, succimer won't be able to reverse the damage that mercury has already done.
Yeah, no, there's no way you can reverse that much brain damage. She's unfortunately probably going to be forever paralyzed.
Methylmercury poisoning is scary because it doesn't immediately produce symptoms. The delayed onset appears to be due to how it distributes into fat tissue. the body takes longer to clear it out, and it does so through the GI tract. The studies suggest that it takes almost a year to clear out most of it from the blood, but studies also suggest that once it absorbs into neurologic tissue, it changes. Experiments and a separate autopsy of someone who survived methylmercury poisoning for 22 years showed that mercury was still present in the brain all those years later, and that it had converted into inorganic mercury, like from the salt form.
So it basically reverted back to its salt form and just remained floating in the brain and is not able to be gotten rid of. Mercury isn't that bad.
As the days pass, Beatty's continuously given the Suxmer in an effort to remove the mercury from her blood. She hadn't used the skin cream for several weeks at this point, but the medical team determined that she needs to be transferred to a hospital that can take better care of her. But why was the mercury in the cream? Well, some skin lightening products utilize mercury. The body uses metal ions for various functions. In normal function, copper ion is used in the enzyme that produces melanin, the substance that produces hair, eye, and skin pigmentation. Mercury competes with this copper ion, and as mercury does, it inactivates the enzyme inhibiting melanin production, resulting in a skin lightening effect.
That sounds like it really shouldn't be happening to your body. That sounds like if melanin is supposed to be happening, that you should kind of let the melanin happen, and you really shouldn't be rubbening. Yes, rubbening. You shouldn't be rubbing skin lightening cream on yourself. Jesus Christ. Rubbing. You shouldn't be rubbing skin lightening cream on yourself. You should just let yourself be the color you're supposed to be.
So, some of these products already have mercury in them, but normally they have the inorganic salt version. So, while Beatty's product probably was going to have mercury in it, her issue is that the particular jar that she was using was contaminated with organic methylmercury. Beatty's case is significant because it was the first time that methylmercury was found to be in these skin lightening products that were imported. But even
Imported. I wonder from where. Gee. I wonder from where she imported this cream.
Even more, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued a consumer update to warn that mercury poisoning is now being more commonly linked to skin products, particularly ones that are marketed as anti-aging or skin lightening. These products are often spread by word of mouth, and they may be used to treat age spots, freckles, and blemishes, like what BD was looking to do. And teenagers may use these products to help with acne. Sometimes these products will tell you straight up on their label that they contain mercury, but sometimes these words aren't immediately obvious, like when it says calomel, which is a name for mercury chloride, so it's the inorganic salt.
Okay, so they don't actually come out and just say mercury or inorganic mercury or whatever.
Other times,
they
the label doesn't even
words.
list any of the ingredients, but in the worst cases, the product is contaminated with ingredients never listed in the first place, which appears to be what happened to BD. In the United States, a federal law requires that ingredients be listed on the label of any cosmetic. When products are imported unlawfully, sometimes they won't have that label, but remember, these skin creams will have dermal absorption. It wouldn't be abnormal for someone to use them and then somehow touch a kitchen countertop or handle food eaten by other members of the household, which would expose them to mercury, causing...
That's scary. That is some scary, scary shit. You've got your mercury lotion on yourself, and then you go and you make food and you accidentally get mercury on the food.
Response.
Holy shit.
And remember, mercury poisoning, especially from the carbon-containing organic mercury, has a delayed onset. By the time one experiences symptoms, it's already too late because it's already absorbed into their body and there's no way to reliably remove what's settled in their organs.
That's scary.
Always check the label on cosmetics and always exercise caution with products, especially ones that may have been brought into the country unlawfully. for BD after extensive succimer treatment and a very long hospital stay at various institutions. She was still not able to speak for herself. She wasn't able to care for herself, and she needed a feeding tube because she wasn't able to eat anymore, as she could not make a recovery. There's a lot of things that people will somehow get into their body.
That's horrifying. Just because she used a skin lightening cream. Just all because she used a skin lightening cream. Now she can't eat for herself. She can't walk. None of that. That is insane. Here, I'm subscribing to Chubby Emu. Everybody go subscribe there. I've put, like I said, all the video links are in the description. You can go and subscribe to Chubby Emu. What a crazy, like I said, like I was expecting mercury poisoning, but I didn't know all that extra stuff. That was really interesting. That was very, very interesting. Okay. This is a short video. This is a short one, and it is called The Worst Parenting Ever. Let's find out about this.
In Brooklyn, New York, this father is ironically displaying his fatherless behavior as he curses out law enforcement while carrying a baby.
Oh, good!
You should have came up and said nothing to me. Good. Look how you act. I don't give a about none of that. It's my business, not yours. Come on. You made him like that. Hey, brother. You made him like that. Don't touch me again. I'm telling you I'm a hook with you.
Dude, you've got a baby in your arms. Why are you doing this?
Don't touch me. Don't black now. Wait, none of that. You can't do none of that. You can't do none of that. Don't matter.
Dude, why are you screaming with your child in your arms? Your child is right there. Calm down.
So best case scenario is this idiot is just filling his kids' ears with profanity and teaching them that aggressively getting in.
Vanity is a sin for a reason.
Is this idiot is just filling his kids' ears with profanity and teaching them that aggressively getting in the cop's face shouting, "Inhale my front tail," is just a normal part of your vacation. Or worst case scenario, and what I suspect his actual motives was to incite a physical confrontation with the police, trigger a detainment attempt from the officer, which would cause him to drop the baby, and suddenly making him the ultimate victim, giving him all sorts of social media attention and thousands of dollars from the taxpayers.
I agree. I agree with this assessment of the situation, and the fact that he's willing to sacrifice his baby for social media likes and attention, and just like willing to hurt his child for that is just pathetic.
All for the low price of using his own kid's suffering to purchase that lotto ticket to riches. Because even though the kid wasn't dropped and he just walked away, the baby is still negatively impacted by all of this. And the only benefit is the so-called father got to feel tough talking to the police like that, when in actuality, he's going down as the biggest coward on the internet today. Because a real man shields their kids from danger, not using their kids as a shield, carrying them into danger. And the saddest part about all of this is it's becoming a common theme, as when protesters block the streets, they also carry their kids on their backs to somehow protect them from the drivers.
Yeah, this is what pisses me off. When you go to protest something like something that you know is very divisive and polarizing, don't take your damn kids. Like all the people with kids at the George Floyd riots and the people with kids at the Ferguson shit, that really bothered me. That really, really bothered me, because I'm like, what are you gonna do when your kid gets trampled by a mob? Are you gonna feel sorry? Are you gonna be like upset? Or are you just gonna blame the man because you brought your kid to a protest?
And this wasn't the only person protesting while using their baby as a prop. And more nefariously, some people actually commit crimes while behind their baby.
Do you have anything as targets?
No!
Okay.
I have
This is target loss prevention right here.
That's what I'm saying, here! She has our son! Yeah, my backpack's already mine!
Okay, can you show us that?
Wow.
I don't need to do that!
You arrest me? I did not do anything!
She didn't even do
you listen to him. Look at the cameras. I didn't do anything.
Okay, relax.
Wow, using your kid as a shield to keep from being arrested.
Do you take her out of handcuffs? Here, I'll give you all your back. I'll give you all your.
Aren't you
That's
amazing?
all you guys' stuff. That's it. I have nothing else.
Is that all your guys' stuff?
That's all of it. She should not be in handcuffs.
Well,
right
we
now. She
shouldn't
didn't
be
do
stealing
anything.
with your son either.
They're gonna start a GoFundMe. Yup.
But she's not with me.
Just take a deep breath. We shouldn't be
I get
stealing
that.
or
I
committing
get that.
crimes with
I
the baby,
get that.
right?
I get that.
You get a warrant for your arrest,
No, I
man.
don't. No, I don't.
No, I don't. Well, yeah, you do. That the computer has shown them that you do. Yes, you do. Oh. We have a Streamlabs donation. Let us go see. Jump for you. Okay. I will jump for you. Let's put the solo cam on. Let's put the solo cam up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did 10 even though it was $7. Okay.
Please don't do that.
Don't run off with the baby.
I'm not. Can you see? Is she
She's
going to
gonna
jail?
get the baby, but we gotta check on your warrant. That's just how it's gotta go.
Can she go to jail?
You know that's
Please
how it's
don't
gonna go.
do that.
Don't run. We know who you are.
I want her to go. Is she
You
going
want
to
to
jail?
call
Is she going to jail? She's not.
I want her to go to jail. Wow.
I can't go to jail.
Take this baby.
I can't go to jail.
I guess this activity
Jesus
enrages me
Christ.
specifically, as a long time ago when I worked a security job, there was this insane lady that needed to be detained. But when I approached her to explain
They catch a child endangerment charge. And then the state takes the kid. Yep.
what was
Good.
about to happen, before I even made physical contact, she shrieked, "I'm pregnant," started flailing around, making a scene to make certain I wouldn't even attempt to apprehend her. And I just stood there
lovely.
dumbfounded at the whole situation. But it really changed how I see certain mothers or mothers-to-be, as they don't see their baby as them, their own flesh and blood, their baby. They see them as a shield and almost a license to steal. Because
Which is really pathetic. Like, can you imagine being a parent and viewing your child as anything but something to protect?
nobody wants to put a baby in danger over stolen goods, except for the mother. Like this high-profile incident of this pregnant lady stealing a bunch of liquor. While attempting to flee, she hits a cop with her car and is ended on the scene, which triggered massive anti-police protests all over the streets. I understand. This is a horrendous tragedy, but I don't necessarily think they should be protesting the police, but the mother that brought her unborn baby out to go commit felonies. As I think we all agree, no baby should lose their life over liquor, but that tragedy could be easily averted if the pregnant mother didn't try to steal liquor while pregnant, or at the very least, not try to run down a cop. But again, some people don't see their baby as a human life, just an opportunity to shield themselves from consequences, as we even see it used in warfare, where this baby's room is filled with rockets and other items they didn't want to be found. Now I know we've gone a long way from arguing with the cops carrying your baby to keeping RPGs under their crib, but the concept is still the same, and hopefully more people will see the bigger picture when encountering this scenario in the wild. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on what the heck is going on with Biden and what they're hoping you won't notice.
Where are we going? You know what? We're gonna subscribe to this too. We're gonna subscribe to that one too. Cause that was, I like that. I like that. I'm pretty sure I've heard Pink Hollow watch this before. I'm pretty sure that I've heard him watching that. Ugh. That was a interesting look at horrible parents. And the shitty thing is it's getting it's getting worse. You see it on TikTok. You see parents with their kids on TikTok and like using their kids on lives to get gifts and money and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Some of these things that happen. All right. Here we go. We have our Bearing video. Because Bearing always defines some really funny shit that I never can find, and he's got a debate on transgender athletics. So this should be fun. Nope, never seen that channel. Oh, okay.
Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding?
What? No!
Kidding me?
Hi, how's it going? So I saw this insane debate about transgenders in sport over the weekend. It was on Piers Morgan's show. Now, I know a lot of Americans don't like Piers Morgan because of that gun rights debate he did with Ben Shapiro. And yeah, I get that, but I think he makes sense a lot of the time. Like, probably more than half the time sort of thing. But
yeah, I'm kind of with Bearing here. Like, there are some things that I really, really disagree with Piers Morgan on, the gun thing being one of them. But I would give him about a 60% right. What's the word I'm looking for? 60% right ratio. So, yeah,
but
like
anyway,
with the transgender stuff, he's right on.
This debate involved this lispy little fabulous, this insane lefty chick, I don't know who she is, Tommy Lahren, and this other chick, I don't know who she is either. Now, the debate was sparked by Aidan Gallagher, a transgender student athlete from Oregon, who was recently booed after winning an athletics championship. Now, I think Pierce makes some good points. Now, I think Pierce makes some good points. Tommy Lahren and this black chick make some good points. This fabulous little powder puff makes no worthwhile contribution. And
this fabulous little powder puff. Sometimes I like to watch Bearing's videos for Bearing's commentary and his reactions to the craziness he finds, because they're equally as funny.
This lefty chick, I mean, fucking hell. She's just insufferable. I kind of feel like there's no point arguing with these people. I mean, you can point out facts, you can show them statistics, you can demonstrate reality to them all you want. But at the end of the day, it just goes nowhere. Anything apart from their opinion on this matter is transphobia. You'll see what I mean. Let's have a look.
Teenage runner Aidan Gallagher became the Oregon girls 200-meter state champion last week, posting one of the fastest times in the state's history.
Oh, boys can run faster than girls. Who knew?
Actually, Bearing, boy is a gender and gender is a social construct. So...
Sorry, but for the most part... Holy shit, where has Tommy been,
so
right?
Boys can't run faster than girls because boys and girls don't exist in objective reality.
Yeah, okay, males then. Males can usually run faster than females. Do you think when they invented the words boy and girl, they meant how you're feeling that day? What kind of fashion sense you have? No, they meant male and female.
Oh, transphobic, bigot, transphobe, Nazi, fuck, fucking transphobe.
With a
Do you see what I'm talking about? I love Bearing's videos.
Remarkable display of power and stamina. But as Aidan crossed the finish line, something, well, pretty unusual happened. Instead of joyous cheering and adulation, many of the watching spectators loudly booed.
If I would have booed. See, that's
the same
a hard
thing happened
one.
when Gallagher received a goal.
That's a hard one. Because do you boo right away, like, as they're crossing the finish line? Because they still did a good job. Like, they still did a good job in the competition. But the fact is that they are biologically male, and they shouldn't be in the like the biological female sport category. It's not fair. And like, I understand why people are upset, but at the same time, like, do you boo the athlete to their face? Because is it the athlete's fault that there isn't a category for trans athletes? No, it's not the athlete's fault. It's the sport's fault. So I don't think I agree with booing as they cross the finish line. That's just me.
The gold medal on the podium, but the runner-up was loudly cheered when she received her silver. And there's an explanation for all this. Gallagher is a transgender athlete who was born a biological male and therefore has a vastly superior physiology to show for it. And as viral video clips from the race show, Gallagher towered over many of the competing girls, displaying greater height, power, and speed.
Well, and of course, if you're taller, you're going to have longer legs, which means you're going to be able to run faster. Longer-legged people can run faster than shorter-legged people. That's just how it is. And if you're biologically a male and you transition to female, you're not going to shrink, right? You're still going to be the same height that you are. And you're obviously going to be a faster runner.
They're frankly made a mockery of any pretense to fairness or equality.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, let's skip this monologue because it goes for a couple of minutes. Let's get to the meat and potato of this.
Joining me to debate this and more, our comedian and podcaster James Barr.
Isn't that the smuggest, most smug whatever, face you've ever seen? I mean, that's got to be the definition of a shit-eating grin, right?
Uncensored contributor Esther Krakow, Outkick host Tommy Laren, and the host of the Bituation Room podcast,
Bituation Room? Bituation? Really? That's the title you came up with for your podcast, is Bituation Room? Okay.
Welcome to all of you. Tommy, let me start with you. I watched a video of this as a father of a 12-year-old girl who loves a bit of sport. And honestly, my heart just sank. But when I heard the booing, I was thrilled. Not because the athlete was being booed. I felt awful for the trans athlete. But because I finally felt that the silent majority were finding their voice. What did you think?
Yeah, I also think that it's big that this happened in a place like Oregon. Oregon is not conservative. Maybe
No, it's not. Oregon is far from conservative, and for booing to be happening there is crazy.
Certain parts, but certainly the majority of Oregon is certainly more on the left side. This is a trans person, a trans woman competing against actual women. Stop dismissing women by calling us biological women. We are just women, so I want to put that out there first.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, look at the lefty shaking her head self-righteously.
No, we're not just women. We're not just women. There are trans women are women too. No, they're not. Sorry, no, they're not. They're not women.
Actually, I don't agree. You're a transphobe. We're not just women. Let's have a listen to what she's got to say.
Francesca, I can see you actually,
More likely than not. The only reason they're competing against women is because they couldn't against men, and are trying to get easy wins. Yep.
Going berserk here with indignation. So presumably you don't agree.
I mean, please don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, either of you, please don't speak for me. Please don't speak for all women. Just let's get that out of the way right now.
Fair enough.
What? Can you speak for all women? Is that... Please, I love how they say that. Please don't speak for all women. And then they turn around and start speaking for all women.
I disagree. I think about, what if your 12-year-old kid was Aiden? Wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't you be proud
my
of
12-year-old
Aiden?
kid wouldn't be.
How much would it
No.
Yeah, nah. You wouldn't be proud of your son for beating a bunch of girls. I mean, I feel like that would be the common response. There's going to be some weird fucking idiots out there that are like, trans women are women and this is totally
Why
fair.
is it
but
we
no,
never
you
hear
wouldn't be
about
proud of
trans
your son for
women
winning a girls'
winning against
athletic
bio
championship.
men,
I
and
really,
why does
this
the
is what's
trans-
crazy about it.
Trans women looks
Do
like
you
a dude.
think that that's what's driving trans women to compete as athletes is that they're like, if I transition to become a woman, I can win a gold medal in a high school track and meet competition.
No. That's not what they're thinking. They're thinking, gee, I have more strength than most women do. So it doesn't matter whether I transition or not. I can still say that I'm a woman, and I can go and play and compete in women's sports and win every time.
Hang on, Francesca, I don't care.
That is so absurd to me.
I
It's
don't
the same
care.
thing. Hang on,
Francesca,
let me speak.
I don't care. The reality is they're doing it.
Yeah, thank you, Pierce. That is, in fact, what's happening. Who cares what their intentions are? This is happening and it's grossly unfair. I mean, does an action only matter if it's intentional? Why?
Like, that would be like me or any blind person being put up against sighted runners without a guide or without any like audible thing for the track or whatever, and then being told, okay, run, and then the sighted person beating the blind person, or no, sorry, a sighted person going in with a bunch of blind people to run. And the sighted person beats the blind people because they can see where they're going. They don't need a guide, and they don't need an audio target. And everyone goes, "Oh, good for the sighted person. They beat all the blindies." No, that's not okay. Why is it okay for a biological male to come in, kick the crap out of biological women, and everyone goes, "Yay!"
Why is manslaughter, accidental homicide a thing?
I'm embarrassed to be a woman when I see women freaking out about trans women winning one out of so many competitions.
It's not just one.
Okay,
it's happening in swimming with Leah Thomas.
Hang on.
It's happening in all sorts of sports.
Yes, because it makes us look really pathetic.
No, the fuck it doesn't. It makes us look very, very angry, and righteously so, because women have spent decades fighting for equality in things like sport, and now we have men coming in and basically saying they're exactly like a biological woman when they're not, and using their physical abilities that they still have, regardless of how well how much they've transitioned. They have obvious advantages, and they're using them, and it's not okay.
Honestly, it makes us look like losers and whiners, and guess what? I'm not a loser or a whiner.
Prove it. Jump in a boxing ring with a trans woman.
Yep.
I'd love to see that. Not a loser or a wife. This goes to show what you think of this chick that came runner-up in this championship. She's a loser and a whiner. Good job sticking up for women.
You know what I actually want to talk about when it comes to women's sports? Why is Caitlin Clark being paid 80 times less than her counterpart entering the NBA?
Because she plays in the WNBA and it doesn't make as much money.
Yeah, literally. There are not the same amount of people watching WNBA games as there are watching NBA games. There are not as many people watching women's soccer as there are watching men's soccer. There aren't as many people watching women's hockey as there are watching men's hockey. That's why they get paid less. Make that shit more entertaining and people will watch it.
Fucking hell. Why doesn't Caitlin Clark just identify as a man and make a shitload more money? Does it have something to do with the fact that she wouldn't be able to compete because there's biological differences? What an airhead.
Can I ask you a question? Hold on, Francesca.
that.
Let me ask you a question. If I hit you over the head with a bat and I said the plan wasn't to kill you, it's because you had a fly in your head, would you still not go to the police for assault? Does my intention matter? Because that's exactly what you just said.
I'm just trying to Rube Goldberg.
Look at the lefties playing confused and indignant over that. She's giving...
Yeah, she just doesn't understand the analogy. She does not understand the analogy. She's like, what? What do you mean? You want to hit me in the head with a bat? Oh my god, like that's what she thinks.
Giving you a hypothetical to try to make you understand intentionality. Sometimes an action does not have to be motivated by bad intent for it to be a bad action. I thought it was very clear, but look at them flailing their hands. Whatever are you talking about? You racist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, fuck, I don't know, whatever.
She's like, what? You want to hit me with a bat?
All the bad things. You're the bad person.
They are useful idiots like you that are validating ascientific nonsense. There's no such thing as gender identity. Being trans-identifying is a mental illness, a reality that exists only in your head, should not be validated, and specifically not at the expense of people that are just going about their business trying to win sporting tournaments.
I'm not a religious person, but hallelujah, praise the Lord. Preach, sister, whatever the fuck you say.
Yeah, no kidding. She just lit the fire. She just lit the fire under that person, like, useful idiot like you. Damn.
There's useful idiots like you that are leading to the death of trans people.
Oh, you're leading to the death of trans people.
Death of
it's
trans
always the
people.
extreme, isn't it? If you're...
I'm sorry. How many trans people are unaliving themselves even after they transition? Or is that our fault too?
Say anything about trans people, it's genocide. You're genociding the trans people.
To me, there's conflating two issues. You can absolutely support trans rights to fairness and equality, as I do and consistently have, but you can also see that there is obviously a massive problem now increasing now in women's sport, and there's a reason, and we've had this conversation, James, but you gave a preposterous answer last time. There's a reason we separate sexes in the Olympics, in the World Championships, because otherwise women would never win anything.
Look,
no, they wouldn't. They if we didn't have female and male categories in sport, women would never win. They would never ever win.
That's why we do it. It's not because women aren't great athletes.
Women would never
They're great
win
athletes.
No, they wouldn't win much twinkle toes. I mean, are you saying he's wrong? Sure, they'd win chick shit. They'd win synchronized swimming and show jumping or equestrianing, whatever the fuck it is. But no, they wouldn't win athletics. They wouldn't win contact sport. They wouldn't win weightlifting. What the fuck are you talking about?
Competing against people physically born like
Listen,
them.
I have so much to say. I want to explode. Firstly, Esther, you're the only thing making anyone angry or incensed right now. So you're causing me a mental health issue. So really, if there's a
You're causing me a mental health issue. Wow, dude. Get a thicker skin then. Holy Christ.
mental illness, it's actually you. I would like to take a pill.
You can all be mentally unwell together.
I like this chick.
Most of the female winners in this sport, they are hitting around 22 to 24 seconds, which is exactly what the gold medalist won here. And then also following up with what you said.
What's your
Esther,
point? What's your
My
point?
point is, this is normal for a woman.
No, you're
This is
missing
the
the
normal
point.
speed for a woman in a race.
Yeah, it's not a normal speed for a
No.
woman in a race. It's a championship winning speed for a woman in a race.
Yeah. And this was high school. This is not like an adult. He said adult women. He said adult women. I hate putting the pills, car exhaust, knife, or rope in their hands. Yeah, I know, right, Cannibalistic Wizard? Like, holy crap, we're just terrible.
This kind of race anyway, at this level, which is a speed more blokes can achieve.
If you allowed women and men to compete in a generalized way, then
Men
women
would
would win almost no medals. Literally, other than one or two events, possibly equestrian, possibly archery.
Yeah, see, he took the words out of my mouth. Now, I should note, I'm not showing you this whole interview. It goes for about 30 minutes. I'm just taking this...
He's right. If you've got stuff like archery, horseback riding, pole vault, maybe like some gymnastics shit, but not running, not... definitely not any of the upper body strength shit. Nothing like that.
The sort of choice bits. I'll link the full version in the description so you can have a look for yourself.
Pat, hey dude. I hope you're doing okay, my friend. I hope you're doing okay. Good to see you. Good to see you in chat, my friend. I wish you well.
have you ever undergone any kind of like hormone replacement therapy?
Oh, you mean chopped off his penis? Because
No,
that's
I haven't.
Hang on, I'm not talking to you, Esther.
Hang on, I'm not talking to you, Esther. I love this stupid whiny voice.
Therapy.
Oh, you mean chopped off his penis? Because
No,
that's
I haven't.
Hang on, I'm not talking to you, Esther. Hang on.
Okay.
Wow, listen to the stupid little voice she has. I'm not talking to you. Hang on.
Talking
Fuck
to Pierce.
off.
Yeah.
Because actually, the body does undergo an incredible amount of toil.
What it doesn't
when you
do,
actually-
Francesca, I've heard this argument.
Hang on.
You're home, but you're on bed rest. Oh, good. I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you're home.
It doesn't change your body mass.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No,
It doesn't. It literally does not change your bone density. It does not change your bone structure. It does not change your skeleton. It just doesn't.
Absolutely can change your body mass.
No, it doesn't. I mean, maybe your energy levels might go down because you don't have as much testosterone in your body, but your bone density, your lung capacity, the size of your heart, your muscle reflexes, all that stuff stays the same.
The way your brain is wired, and they've done scans of male and female brains, and they are different. So, like, get fucked.
It
amount of
doesn't. You
hormones
remain
that
as
can-
muscular.
it
You know, I know
drains-
this. Talk to someone like Caitlyn Jenner,
Pierce.
who was, as a man,
Oh my God.
was the decathlon gold medal winner for the United States of America, and was then, when she took up golf, having transitioned, was told she could tee off
Asking Caitlyn
from the
Jenner-
women's tees. Right, the women's tees are 50 yards further ahead than the men's, and she said she was winning every tournament.
Asking Caitlyn Jenner for any advice or practical information is like asking you, Piers, for how to get a six-pack.
This guy is such a disingenuous.
What the fuck? Caitlyn Jenner has more. What the fuck? Caitlyn Jenner is a specifically apt example. Because as Bruce Jenner, he was a sports person. He was a gold medalist. As Caitlyn Jenner, like, he would know. He would know about the women's golf thing. Like, what are you talking? That's a perfectly apt analogy.
Ingenuous little rat. I mean, firstly, lame joke. And secondly, why can't Caitlyn Jenner have a valid opinion on this? She, he, whatever, is a fucking trans woman. I'll tell you why Caitlyn Jenner can't have a valid opinion on this. It's because
she's a
he,
conservative.
she, whatever, disagrees with them politically. It's all.
Yeah, because Caitlyn Jenner is more of a conservative than these people and actually thinks that trans women should not be in women's sports.
All stunning and brave and beautiful until you venture from the tribe.
The point is, if Aidan Gallagher competed according to their biological sex, they would not be succeeding. They wouldn't be winning state championships. They would actually not even be qualifying for the finals. That is the point everyone's missing.
Piers,
is that actually
why do you care about
women's integrity of women's sport?
Why do I care about the integrity of women's sports? Why do you as a man care about the integrity of women's sports? Meanwhile, everybody says that men should be the allies for women and men need to stand up for women. But the minute men stand up for women, they're transphobes. Right? Sunshine has been converted for how long, and he can still fight me for pretty well. Oh yeah. Exactly. Caitlyn Jenner isn't their type of trans, so her opinion doesn't matter to them. Yep.
But you don't. Have you done a segment on Caitlin Clark and pay disparity? Have you done a where were you when the U.S. women's national team?
He doesn't need to.
You have no idea.
He doesn't need to do that segment.
Well, hang on.
Shut up, Esther.
Oh my God.
Oh God, shut up. What about? This race was clearly unfair. You can pivot and change the topic all you like. It was still unfair.
Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Lionel Messi had to undergo an incredible.
Yes or no?
He had to undergo an incredible amount of treatment when he was young.
Just say yes or no. Just answer the damn question. You holy shit.
Had a bunch of like.
Would you allow him to
all
put
kinds
his
of
hand up,
medicine and
say he's a
everything in order
woman,
for
and
him
play
to
in the
actually
American
grow,
women's
'cause he had a
national team?
growth spurt. I'm a big Messi fan, so. But let me just explain this to you.
Yeah, if something happens to her that she doesn't like, can you say that to her? Nope.
Question. Would you allow him, if he said, I'm a woman, to play in the American women's national team?
You're using the wrong pronoun
Yes, right now.
See what I mean? How do you argue with these people? Watch where he goes here. This gets even crazier.
Hell yeah.
Would you allow
that would
Usain
mean...
Bolt to do that and be in the sprinting
Yes,
team?
because that would mean they're a trans woman. They identify as women.
I get it.
So wait, Usain Bolt only has to say, I'm a woman? He doesn't have to, like, take any hormones, do any surgery, live as a woman for any length of time. He just has to say, I'm a woman? That's it? Okay.
So just to be clear,
Transition.
you'd let Lionel Messi play in the women's national football team and destroy
Hell yeah,
women's football
welcome.
forever. You'd let Usain
it'd be
Bolt...
very difficult to get a ticket, which would suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American women's Olympic team?
Yes.
Okay. You would
Yes.
let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the women's American boxing team?
Yeah,
you
of
are
course
a
you have to be,
complete
like, the
and utter
heavyweight,
lunatic.
I completely agree with I agree with Francesca, and I go
You're
further.
both
Is you
insane.
always...
You're both insane, and you are for men literally decimating women. You believe that it is okay for somebody like Floyd Mayweather to just be like, hey, guess what? I'm a chick today, and then go box a woman? Are you fucking insane? That woman would die. Like, her skull would be driven into her brain. And that doesn't mean she's not a good fighter. Like, if you put Holly Holm up against Floyd Mayweather, Holly Holm's fucking nose would be driven right into her frontal cortex. And Holly Holm is a damn good boxer. It doesn't... What the fuck is the matter with you?
Position.
You always say that you want to be a penguin. I would let you live at London Zoo in a cage.
Of course she doesn't care because she doesn't play sports. Nope.
What a shit joke. Did you know this guy's actually a comedian? Yeah, I'm serious.
Really?
He's a comedian. He's one of those, I'm gay, I take
He's
it
a
up the
gay
arse comedians. You know, where all they talk about is how gay they are. I mean, be gay, I don't give a fuck. But he's just so unfunny, and Piers Morgan keeps having him on for some reason. Anyway, that's all I'm going to put you through.
Probably
that was just
because-
fucking bonkers. He's right, this chick is a fucking lunatic. Like I said, I'll link the full interview in the description. But thanks for watching, have a lovely day, ta-ta, goodbye.
And thank you for providing some funny commentary there, Bearing. That was funny. Ugh. The same people that advocate for this don't even play sports. No, they don't. They don't. They don't play sports, and all they have is their stupid talking points that don't even make sense. And everybody around them is trying to use logic, and they are afraid of logic somehow, and they're just like, well, no, you can't say that. That's transphobic. And it's like, no, it's not. It's logical. Yeah, I don't know what you expect. I just don't understand. Oh, alright guys, we've come to the end of our stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the time today. I'll be back tonight on Twitch and YouTube for the Combat Hour at 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves for the rest of your Thursday afternoon and that you will join me tonight for the Combat Hour. I'm still working on my Tanya Goro, and if anybody pops into chat that wants to play with me, we'll do that too. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you tonight. Bye, everybody.